Right, baby. I see you. We ain't standing no face. Right, look, like hot while y'all look warm. Just a warm look, think you hotter than me, dog. I highly dispute. I'm the shit, nigga, you just a boo. Like Paul, I pierce strings, but I'm not the truth. They call me E. Wright, check the resume. Been a warrior since my early days. From Coast West to Coast Shake. Crenshaw, Fremont, right to Cal State. Falling fools up, yeah, I really couldn't wait. Newcomer of the year. I hit the pro league with no fear, that's why I'm still here. While you're looking sad, I know you love it. I don't get mad, I get bucket. 6-time MVP, from division to the Euro League. I got deep too, best believe. I'm on top of my world, falling here and overseas. From the US to Germany. EUGENEWRIGHT, behind the arc for 3. Swish, on net looks like this. Shit so tight, never 5-10 minutes. EUGENEWRIGHT, behind the arc for 3. Switch right on that looks like this. Game so tight, never 5-10 minutes. Hometown, California, yeah, I'm 5'9", but put me on the court and I'm playing like I'm 6'5". Rebound, spin move, bank shot right off the glass. I got a jumper like a keeper stash. Stacked up in my gym bag. I carry teams while you carry trash. Your game's weak, boy, don't make me laugh. You can reach, but I'ma teach your ass a little something. When you're wild in my class front, I'm on a court stunting. Catch an alley-oop like it's nothing. Triple doubles like I'm on something. West Coast, we the best to the fullest. You can put me in the game, I'm never afraid to pull it. EUGENEWRIGHT, behind the arc for 3. Swish, on net looks like this. Shit so tight, never 5-10 minutes. EUGENEWRIGHT, behind the arc for 3. Switch right on that looks like this. Game so tight, never 5-10 minutes.
What's up, Eugene? How are you?
What's going on, Chief? How you doing, fellas?
Very good, thank you. So that was obviously a song about yourself, Eugene Wright, and your basketball career and what you've done and stuff. And yeah, it's a pretty good basketball song, if you ask me.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that song. Like, yeah.
That's funny, bro. There's a dude at Venice Beach, a dude named Life Don, and he should come down and hoop with us. Is the audio cool? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so this dude was at the beach, and I heard him rap a couple of times, and we were out shooting one day, and him and his friends were like, dude, you have a legit game. And he was like, can I make a song about it? And I was like, yeah, whatever. And I thought it was going to be some cheesy, like, random, some junk stuff. And these dudes went into a studio and actually put together a whole, like, mastered song. And I was like, this is dope as hell. And he asked me for all my stats and things I've done. And it was just one of those once in a lifetime things that someone did a favor for me, like usual, like people do stuff for you and you don't expect anything. It came out fire as hell, bro. I was like, yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, it's a good song. And obviously, like, you're from South Central Los Angeles, and but you've traveled the world playing professional basketball, and you've got a pretty interesting story to tell, and that's why we're here. And yeah, I want you to, like, you play basketball at Venice Beach nearly every day, right?
Yeah, nearly every day. Yeah, that's what you do, man. It's sunny and you come out and you get buckets. No offense to Rupert, I know he hates the sunlight when y'all talk over there, but yeah, man. No, it's just one of those things, bro. Like, everyone has a story. It's just some are a little bit different than others. And I go speak at schools and tell kids, like, shit's real out here in the streets. And if you're not actively engaging in something to take you away from what's going on, you'll get caught up.
Yeah. Then you
just one point though. One point. When you say South Central, a lot of stuff has been changed. So when you say South Central LA, I'm talking about in the 80s and 90s where gang banging, crack dealing, and drugs and gangs life was a real thing. Not like you download an app and now you're a Crip, or if you swipe this thing, you're a blood. No, like, shit was official back then. So you was one way or the other. Either you played a sport, went to school, or you joined a gang. There was no in betweens. There were no other extra shit.
You saying there's like a Tinder app for? You saying there's like a Tinder app for gangs? Is that what you're saying?
That's what society is today. Like, I feel like Tekashi 6ix9ine, like, he signed like from a Wheaties box. If you buy enough Frosted Flakes. I think you could join the gang now. Shit's weird now. Like
Yeah,
it's super funny to me.
yeah, we don't talk about gangs and all that shit. So yeah, so you've played professional basketball in Germany, which for how many years? You were six-time MVP in Germany, right? Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah, 6-time MVP. But the crazy part was I had done that in a sum of 9 years. So I hit the ground running. I played 17 years total,
Hmm.
but in 9 years I was six league MVPs. So I came out with something to prove. Like pay me or pay me no attention. So
How did you get the chance to go from like Venice Beach to get the contract in Germany? How did that happen?
that's crazy. It didn't even happen that way. I ended up doing an article for Dime magazine, and it chronicles the actual journey. But you don't even know this, but I used to live in a city out here in LA called Bellflower, California, and my pops had just got murdered, bro, and
Mm,
I had nothing. I'd been playing in these leagues. I was working a menial job for a bit, but I was still working out, and ended up playing against this dude who played in a city in Germany called Bayreuth. Dude named Michael Lake,
mm,
and I played against this dude, and I was playing in a league in Redondo Beach, and I'm playing against Sean Rooks, rest in peace, Dennis Rodman, a bunch of NBA dudes and dudes on the cusp. And I remember playing against, and reason why Michael Lake stood out to me is because um, I was like, I'm better than this dude. How the fuck does he have a contract? And I'm better than him. And he was so chill, like about the whole thing. He um he was like, man, we all take our time and we get different breaks. So the dude ended up hooking me up with another dude who was actually in Germany, a dude named Wesley
mm.
Carruthers. And I sold everything I had. Like I lived in an apartment. I didn't have much. I had a car. Um, I had pretty much nothing, bro. I was just emotionally drained because of where I was
Mm.
with my pops. I had shit. Like I was like, fuck it, ball or fall. So
Yeah,
I
man.
moved to Germany in like the first 3 weeks. I'm calling teams, and they're like, I'm sorry, we already got our Americans. You know how I go. We got 2 Americans on the team. They're like, we already got our Americans. Other teams, oh, we don't have any money. Other teams, like, there's always a story behind it. And this one dude, Joe Burton, he ended up giving me a try in and and he gave me a tryout. And I came out to his team, and first game I had 53-6, no 53-3. The
Wow.
first game playing for him, and he was like, "Fuck, you can score, man. Like you got buckets." And he's like, "But I need to see, can you be a point guard and run my team and do all this stuff?" So the next game I had 42-10. It's like, uh,
You
he's
passed
like,
the
"Oh,
ball
you
four
you
more
can pass
times.
too." Yeah, I was like, "Oh, I'll pass the ball. I'll pass a little more, but fuck that. I'm here to set an example." And from that, like he had like a warehouse of Americans. He was just turning them over. He would bring them out to the country, promise them jobs and this, and he had all these guys living in the place. And I was there for like 3 weeks, as I said. And the dude, like, hey man, you could be good. You could be one of those dudes. And he sat me down and showed me a videotape of this dude named Bo Dukes, who played in Europe for hella years. And he's like, you could be the next Bo Dukes, bro. And he said, I know him personally. I trained him. I worked out. I made him what he was. And I was like, yeah, yeah, whatever. And the dude just put me on that trajectory, and he got me my own apartment. And I just played. And every year, but I made a promise to myself never to be stagnant. So
Mm,
every year, uh, I I found a new team because I couldn't rest on what I did the previous year. So I just
cool.
found a new team every year and put up buckets.
Well, when that guy said that he said you could be the next Paul Dukes or whatever, did you not think like, oh, fuck him, man? I'm Eugene Wright. Like, I don't
Yeah,
need to be the next Paul
exactly.
Dukes.
I'm like, who the fuck is this dude? His name is Bo
Yeah,
Dukes, and it was like he was kind of a big deal. And I was like, I don't know this fucking guy, but he could be that. He could be the next Eugene Wright. Fuck him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of the, but that's kind of the mentality you have to have with regards to how you approach the sport. You don't have to think
yeah,
you're
yeah.
the best. You just have to believe that I'm going to create a lane that's unique and specific to my skill set. He
Hmm.
saw something in me that represented what that guy used to bring. I
Yeah,
saw the
yeah.
fact that I didn't know it, other people. I just want to hoop. And he was like, we were saying the same thing in just different ways. Like, I love the game. And he was like, yeah, you're just passionate about the game. Like, you don't care about all the other stuff. You just care about playing basketball. And that's
Mm.
very unique.
Yeah.
Not for me, but unique to have someone that has that dedication.
Yeah, and obviously a little bit of a past and trauma in the like and feeds the fire sort of thing as well. I think like if you've just
Oh,
born with
yeah.
like with nothing, no problems or anything, like you're probably not going to get. I could be wrong, but I don't think you're going to make it to the top because you've got no fire
Oh,
behind
fuck
you.
no.
Like you're not going to get there. So I think not that obviously
Hey,
you want it, but it helps, doesn't it?
every
So yeah,
superhero needs an origin story, bro. Every superhero needs an
exactly,
origin story.
exactly.
And whatever that catalyst is to get you there, man, it's that. And I don't feel like that was my thing. Honestly, if I can be 100% sincere, like I don't do a lot of public stuff when it comes to documentation as far as video and film, but I speak at
Hmm.
schools and talk to kids. But
Mm.
I told myself if I was gonna hop on here with you, I'm gonna keep it a complete buck. I'm gonna tell you
Mm.
100% how shit is for me. And so the reality was basketball wasn't difficult because at 13 I was homeless. I was sleeping on the fucking streets and
Yeah.
playing basketball. I was sleeping in a salvage yard, man, and just lost the only person I knew was my mother, which she
Mm.
passed away, which was my grandmother. My dad was in the pen. My real mom was killed when I was a kid. So I had basically my reference point for success was just me. Like just keep
Yeah.
living another day. Like pump gas and go to school. So when people talk to me about, oh, is it hard going through all these tribulations and tough shit? I'm like, bro, if I can make it through that shit I went through as a child, everything else is icing on the cake, bro.
Yeah, it's all a bonus.
So that's
Everything,
how I approach
everything.
basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, like everything's the
The
bonus,
fake
man.
ass Jackson Pollock behind me, that's a bonus. Like it's just
Yeah.
part of who I am because people can. That's one thing about LA and California or around the world. People can sense realness in people, and they can look you in your face and
Hmm.
see if you've struggled, or they can see if you persevered through some shit, and they rock
Yeah,
with you,
exactly.
or they don't like you for it. But
Yeah, yeah.
and I
And you've
appreciate you. I appreciate you honestly for giving me that platform, bro.
fucking hell, we appreciate. Sorry for swearing Rupert so much. It's Eugene's fault. He brings it out in me. Um, this, I appreciate your time to do this anyway because I know that you've got your own stuff going on and it's not the easiest thing to set up a live stream with connections and tests and blah blah blah. Like people are doing their own stuff, so yeah, we appreciate your time and we also appreciate Rupert for providing this great service for us to use. So um, yeah,
Oh,
thanks,
I
Rupert.
truly appreciate him, man.
Rupert's the boss
Thank you.
man.
Yeah, big shout out to
um,
Rupert, and
and
I'll change the vernacular. We'll keep it PG for now.
yeah. And on that note, can Rupert, can you show the pictures of Eugene at the court shooting around, please? Right on cue. Paradise, man.
All right, yeah, it's okay. This beat is sick.
Oh, gives me goosebumps, man. Gotta be there. Oh, where's he gone? Look at the height of that shot, though.
Dude, that was on net. Knock it off.
And look, that's all net in your hand, man. Walking around in your own hoop. So yeah, that's a few pictures of Eugene from just before or just as lockdown happened. Like if you look at the pictures closely, you can see there's the tape around the courts and stuff, and Eugene's still there putting up his shots. Yeah, we can't
Yeah,
ignore Corona. We don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, tell us about those pictures, man. Tell us.
Oh no, that was kind of the thing. So initially at the Venice Beach courts, everybody knows you come out, you hoop, and it's unique to the different courts. So after the lockdown happened, I was going up there every day. And the first day, police came over to me and were like, "Hey man, you gotta leave the courts. It's closed down." I'm like, "Bro, I'm going to make 1,000 shots today. If I'm going to jail, I'm going to jail." So 4 days go by. After the fourth day, they just kind of left it alone. Like, all right, man, we see the guy out here. He comes out here like 9 in the morning. He shoots to noon. Let that guy go. So the park directors decide to take the nets off. I'm like, okay, bet. Now I'm gonna just hit the back of the rim and shoot free throws and make it come straight back to me. Like, thank you for improving my ability to knock it down and come back to me. So
Awesome.
4 days, 4 days after that transpires, they put the metal rods in between the rims that don't allow you to shoot at all.
Yeah.
But unbeknownst to them, I keep rims in my car plus tennis shoes, like multiple sizes of tennis shoes. And so I just went and bought some straps, put the rims up on a tree, got my tape measure out, tape measured out 10 feet, 15 foot from the free throw line, 23.9 or 22.9 for my 3-pointer, and start hanging at the beach on a palm tree and getting buckets.
That's awesome. Do you say you shoot 1,000 shots a
Honestly,
day?
Rupert thought they was fake, man. He thought they were
Yeah.
edited photos.
Yeah, it's real, man. And the thing is, because you obviously know Nick from Venice Ball, and I was watching his one of his Instagram things. I was like, oh look, there's Eugene. I was like, oh shit, there's tape all around him. Like, he don't give a fuck. He's still shooting. Like, yeah, awesome, man.
Yeah,
So have you
that's what I
managed to get
do,
your
man.
1,000 shots up still with the? Do you still get your 1,000
Yeah,
up a day?
yep. But now they're just all net. But I have managed to get up like 25 banks a day off a tree. If you can bank a ball off a tree, bro, when this pandemic is over, everybody, the world, look out for my mid range. It's gonna be ridiculous.
That's it. Like, there's a bad thing going on in the world, but if you can come out of this with, yeah, like a new trick, like my friend Hadj that you've met at Venice Beach, he gives some advice to our young player. He's like, I'm telling him to like do like short sprints, like get really, really strong and fit. And Hadj is like, dude, like just teach him to use his offhand. Like by the end of this pandemic, he'll be ambidextrous and no one like he'll have both hands. Like
Exactly.
he's like, I'm like, yeah, he definitely
Exactly.
doesn't need to get fit. And yeah, he sent a video the other day and he's shooting pretty good, and he's only 14 years old, and he's on both hands. So it's yeah,
That's
Corona's
it.
terrible, but
Use this
some good things are
opportunity
coming
as
from it.
yeah, use this opportunity to embolden yourself and empower yourself like as an athlete, but just turn off the TV for an hour a day and read a little bit more. Like learn the game of basketball. Go through schemes, go through plays. I'm a basketball junkie when it comes to the
Mhm.
IQ of it, but not just the playing, but the IQ. I'm obsessed with the learning.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think again, like you say, with the trauma and stuff like that. I think also you have to be obsessed with basketball to be unless you're naturally gifted, like physically and athletically. Like I think you have to be obsessed with the game and the process, and otherwise, I don't think you can be one of the best if you're not like possibly over obsessed with the game. Like, um,
Exactly. The minute details. You're dead ass correct, bro. Like
mm,
not just the playing of it. Everyone sees the one really spectacular shot you make, but they don't know that you took 4 hours practicing that shot regularly to it felt like a free throw to you, to
yeah,
where you feel comfortable enough to do it in a game and it works.
yeah. We've got some
So
game footage as well. We'll show that in a bit. Not yet. But
no,
yeah,
all good, bro.
also because also you like we've discussed like and I've spent a bit of time at Venice Beach, so I've seen you. I knew who you was before I've spoke to you, but I've seen the videos of you on YouTube, like all your videos, blah blah blah. But then I've seen you at Venice Beach every morning. I'm like, man, this man, he's like, you get all your free throws up and stuff. And I know that you've got like strict routines and stuff like that, right? Like you're very passionate about free throws, aren't you?
Free throws are the building block. Way to throw the lob. He went through the leg with the cliff paw. Yeah,
Yeah.
free throws. It's a passionate thing for me because I feel like that's the building block for your fundamental jump shot. So I go through my routine and I make 200 free throws before I start any drills.
Yeah.
I go through 200 just so I start under the rim with my my touch and calculating
Mm.
shooting, and then I get
Yeah.
right into free throws, and then I get into
Yeah.
active shooting. But yeah,
Yeah.
free throws important for all. So all the hoopers
But
out there, if you ever watch somebody shoot, if his free throws is trash, you know it's super trash.
yeah, we'll talk more about free throws later because I know you're pretty passionate, but we wanna talk about that more. But we want
No, we
people to
good.
see how you play first, man. So we've seen the picture of the beach, but yeah, Rupert, if you could play Eugene Shuts It Down, his little one-on-one video in Germany.
You sure you
Um,
want to show that, bro?
oh yeah, man, it's perfect. And look at the date, 2009, and then you can tell us about it after, man. Just listen to the audio, everyone.
Put your hands down on me, son. 15. Did they teach you? Put your fucking hands up. 17. Yeah, put his hands up. Hands up. Yeah. You still bleeding?
Uh,
Put your hands up.
Maybach music.
awesome. Guys, hands in the face and everything, man. He wants to go home. Oh, this is the one. Just give up, man. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, tell us the
That's
backstory behind that video,
wow.
man.
Man, there's so many layers to that, but I'll stick to the main points. Um, man, I feel bad for that dude, Max. Um, the best thing you need to know about this story is I had just got to a place called Wright in Germany, and we're having practice. We were watching film, and we came out of watching film, and we're in this small gym practicing, and they were still trying to fill me out. They were still trying to see if I was going to be their American. And this guy comes in the gym. He's like, he saw my size. He saw me sitting watching film, and he was friends with the coach. And so he said, I've been to two practices thus far. And one of the coaches was like, dude, this dude can really, really shoot. He's super, super quick. We want to sign him. And the dude was like, the other coach, the head coach wanted to sign me. The assistant coach was like, well, we want a bigger guard. We want to be able to, have somebody who can post up or whatever. And the dude, Max, was that guy came into the gym and was like, your American is small. I'm going to destroy him when we play you. So he played on another team. And he said that he was gonna go at my head when we played him. And so the head coach came up to me and everybody was at practice and they had shooting. We had been there for about an hour. Head coach comes up to me and is like, hey Gene, this dude over here plays for one of the rival teams. And he said that you can't guard him and he's gonna shut you down when we play him. And I was like,
Oh,
what the
awesome.
fuck? Challenge accepted, bro. So coach clears the gym. He keeps everybody out of the gym. And the other assistant coach, the other dude who didn't want me to play there, he actually recorded the video. He put the camera between us. That's why it's at such a low angle. I saw him recording. So he wanted documentation of his friend beating me on tape.
Awesome.
And so I told the dude, look, bro, I'm gonna beat you just with jumpers. I'm not even gonna take you to the rim because you're not even good. I know you can't match my foot speed, so I'll beat you at something where you might stand a chance. And every time I shot the ball, I said something to him. Every fucking time I said something different, like, "Hey, this shit's gotta hurt." Like,
Oh.
and so after you can see like midway through it, but I gave him. We were playing to 21. We were playing to 21 twos and threes, and I gave him 16 points. The final score was 21-18.
Yeah.
And
And you gave him
and
16.
I gave him 16. He hit one shot. And one of the funniest points of that is when I got midway through the scoring, after all the threes I ran on him, I took him to the post, posted him up, dipped him with my arm. He almost fell over and jump hooked on him. Was like, "You're too small for me." And the coach took it out. So the coach made the coach made the video, bro, like the assistant coach. And he was
Oh.
like, another video out there, if you go look at it, it's called Eugene Wright game footage. It's on YouTube.
Mhm. Yeah, we
And
tried to get it,
that
but
was
we
the
couldn't
team.
get it.
That's the team I played. That was his team. And
Awesome, man.
I had a half court. I almost hit a three from half court. But yeah, I felt bad because it was just like, I'm trying to get a job and you come in talking shit to me. That's not going to end well for you. And I
He
get a
best
chance
he
to
was
show
not
you up.
ready.
And,
So
but keep
funny.
that to yourself. Don't say I can beat you. Don't say I'm better than you to
Well,
the American who's looking to get a job.
yeah, and he was hungry for it. Like, I bet he was not ready. And that, like, obviously in trash talk as well, like, you trash talking him throughout that play, but like, you like a bit of trash talk, right? Like, you enjoy trash talk and at the right times and stuff. Like, tell us a little
That's
bit
the
about your trash
counterbalance,
talking.
bro.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Tell
the
us, because
counterbalance to basketball. Like you got to. If I can get inside your head and I can get you out of your character, you'll play. But you're talking me and that's not your game, you're definitely going to play different than you do. And it becomes personal. In a one-on-one, cool. But in a team aspect, if you're talking to me, you're not listening to the plays being called, you're not even paying attention to the picks. And growing up on that level, in the hood, everybody talk trash. You just got to look past it. And like, I remember coming on court and dudes just saying all type of reckless shit to me, like blatantly disrespectful things. So, so I just picked it up like, okay, I'm going to one up that. I'm not only am I going to talk trash to you, I'm going to score in the process. And I mean, don't bring. That's what I say at Venice Beach. I tell new the guys, two things you don't bring: a camera or your girl, because that you'll get them both took.
awesome.
So I remember 2 summers ago, I was coming down the court at Venice Beach, and some dude was up there. He had an elbow sleeve on, the Nike tights underneath his shorts, the freshest shoes, and he was up there with his girl, and he was telling her how good he was. And I said, if you're really that good, you'll never tell your girl. And I'm always in sandals. And he said, well, where are your shoes at? I said, nothing but a second. Be right back. We start playing 5-on-5, and I'm going through my legs on an in and out. I hit him with an in and out, went through my legs 2 times. And rarely do I look at people. I pick my head up and say, your girl's watching me. Your girl's watching me. I'm about to take this shot and your girl in one possession. I pull up from super deep, hit the three, and you should see his face just went flat. He was like, damn. I was like, don't look dejected in front of your girl, because now she
Oh,
know I got
man.
you in my pocket. And after that, he's like, when the game was over, he like quietly walked off. Like he sat there for like 2 or 3 minutes, kind of got his stuff together, and he like slid out the back. I was like, wow, bro, don't leave. Bring her back. At least let her come back. And I didn't see him up there any longer. But the funniest thing is, a week later, his chick showed back up just to watch basketball.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Venice Beach,
Crazy
baby.
place,
You gotta
man.
love it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a crazy place. I could talk about that place all day, but
Yeah.
we won't right now. I want to try and keep this as
Nah,
basketball, because you've got so much knowledge, man. Like, yeah, I'm just looking at my storyboard, my first professional storyboard that I sent Rupert.
oh, there we go. I like it. Way to step your game up, sir.
Yeah, because we got the play like a last second shot play, but I'm not sure if we should play. Yeah, we'll just play it and talk about basketball
Yeah.
IQ and stuff. Like Rupert, I can't remember what
Yeah.
number it was. Oh yeah, he knows. There's so much going on in that play. Yeah, it's the same shot, just in slow-mo, but
Yeah,
what's
but
that
just
dude
it
like
shows you
doing
how
next
bad.
year?
It was just so bad. The guy setting the pick.
Yeah. So look, this is why I can talk trash. Trash, say what he wants. Look at that. Bash.
And it was a foul too. The dude ran under me.
Yeah. He can't quite see it because this is the quality's changed a little bit, but the guy actually laughs that fouls you. Like, oh, and he fucking and he made it. If you watch his face, look at that, and that's just
Really?
such
I
a
know.
drilled shot.
He's like, I fouled this dude, and I know I did.
Oh man.
That is awesome that y'all highlighted that.
Yeah, he's like, oh
Oh
man,
wow.
can't even be mad
That's
about it.
funny.
Like,
I
really
got the
funny, man.
switch that I want. I got the switch that I want. It was a normal play that we run throughout the offense. We've been running it all year. And so the two guard, I went to the two guard. He got the screen initially, a dribble handoff. He swings it. It's a double reversal, and the ball come to me. The two guard could have hit the big man on a dive to the basket. He looked him off, whatever. Comes to me, they want to put it in my hands. Cool. We can kill time off the clock. Off the pick and roll, I come out of it and I'm like, all right, I got a solid setup. I'm a selling that I'm going hard right, and then I'm gonna bring it back to my left and get like I'm trying to get to the middle of the lane with 2 seconds, shoot the ball. So if I miss, it's overtime or whatever. But if I make it, game time. And the big, God bless his soul, he didn't read the play. He came over and tried to set a pick for me, and I'm like, you're bringing your defender to me, and you're bringing him to my shooting side. Like, come on, bro, have some IQ about this. And so I was like, come on,
Yeah.
I gotta. Yeah, it was just one of those things. Like, come on, I wanted one more dribble out of it to get into the lane. I was like, all right, pull up. And once I elevated, I was like, oh, he's too late. He's too late.
Yeah.
He contested far too late. But
What about the two
yeah,
guys open on the 3-point line as well? Like, because one of them
you know
looks like he
what?
was thinking they should have got the ball, but it's like, I bet they haven't practiced that shot
You
as many times as
always,
you. Right.
you always, hey, all right. So to the point of the mindset of the professional player, like when you're the American on the team, it's one of those things you always got to deal with. As you know, being on a professional level, you playing yourself. Um, if you win that game cohesively, it's a team win. If you lose, it's the Americans' fault. So I will, I will, I will always bear that burden, and I'm okay with it. That's why you get a paycheck for it. But at the same juncture, I always think about this every time I play. He said, me with shooting a contested jump shot, there's percentage over in that corner shooting by himself. But the only
Yeah.
difference is it means absolutely nothing to him. If he misses, he gets to go home, have a schnitzel, kick it with his boys, have a beer, and talk about next game. If I miss it, it's like, well, your American didn't come through. But when you hit it, oh yeah, they understand that's why he's here to
Yeah,
bail us out.
exactly. Yeah. And
And
there's a
it,
reason there's two defenders on you and two guys open on the 3-point line with nobody on them. There's a reason. Like, it's
my,
still probably the better shot.
that's so funny. My coach said it always, and always my coach told me that in high school. I didn't get a jumper till I got to college, man. And one game I remember I was standing on the baseline waving up my hands like frantically, like, hey, I'm open, I'm open. And the next time out, my coach was talking about the play, and he looked me dead in my eyes and said, hey, Eugene, you're open for a reason because you can't
Yeah.
shoot. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, coach, I did it. But it was, and it allowed me to, all right, I'll show
Yeah.
you. And that's been my whole life. Get
Yeah.
smarter and get better, bro.
Yeah. And you, like, if I'm right, you set up where's the name of it? You set up a hoop camp in Germany, right? While she was there
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Eugene Wright
and-
hoop camp.
yeah. Was that to
That
help
came up,
teach some German, some IQ?
bro. It came. You're low key psychic. It came up because I would go watch other practices and watch their games, and
Mm.
I'm like, the coaches, so usually in most clubs of Orions, how they have it set up is that a coach, a coach that plays on the first team will coach the second team, and the coach from the second team will coach the third team or the youth team. But the
Hmm.
guys that have coaching have limited IQ themselves, and I'm like, this is the blind leading the blind. What the hell? So
Mm.
I developed so kids can understand one, the discipline of it, like how hard you have to work, not to be a pro, just to be a good athlete, and two, the what's associated with not only the IQ of basketball, but the work ethic around everything. That means punctuality. That means listening. That means being subjugated to dealing with other people's BS. And if you're the better
Hmm.
player, knowing how to carry other teams, because you always had good kids at camp who were just good kids. And I tell them, you won't make the All Star team because you're a good player. You make the All Star team because you make the trash guy over there look almost as good as you. You should be,
Mm. Yeah.
and that was what the premise of it was, bro.
I'm not sure. You glitched out a little bit then, and that was some gold, but I'm not sure if everyone would have heard it or not. I don't know if it glitches for everyone, but there's a little bit of a lag then. But like you say, like
I'm
the
just saying,
basketball's the smallest picture of it, isn't it? Like, yes, you can shoot a high percentage of free throws and you can sprint here to there really fast, but you can't. And in the wheelchair game, it's humongous because you've got disabled kids that are going to a training camp. It might be the first time they're going to be away from their parents that look after them the whole of their life or whatever until this moment, sort of thing. And that is the stand. Well, I'm not a real coach or anything, but in my opinion, that is the biggest part of the transition for the kids is being able to function as a on their own before and the basketball. The basketball is such a small part of
yeah,
the process. Like knowing how to look after yourself, and you said like the BS from other people, like knowing how to handle people. Like if there's someone that's being a dickhead, like how it affects you at the training
yeah.
camp or whatever, and things like that. If you've never experienced it, you don't know how to handle it or whatever. But if you've been around a little bit, and obviously you've experienced enough before, like you're right. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's one thing that with our team, high rollers, like yeah, we're a basketball team, but we want to teach life lessons before the basketball sort of thing. Like that's the whole process of it, man. Like
bro.
the bigger picture, I think. And yeah,
It's a microcosm. Basketball is a
yeah,
microcosm for life. And my coach used to
yeah,
always tell me, and like even my friends, we had this thing amongst us where we say, if you're late to help side, it's not a mistake. You're late in real life. If you make excuses
yeah,
as to why shit goes poorly on the court, you make excuses in real life. It's just the minute things that transpire as a player
yeah,
transcends who you are as a human being. So that camp wasn't just to teach basketball; it was to show that there's a bigger picture also, and that you have to be cognizant of who you're interacting with and to be a better person. Because I had 3 or 4 kids' parents were super at me because they didn't make the All Star team at Eugene Wright's hoop camp. They were really
mm,
good, physically talented, and just better players, but they didn't embody the idea of making people better while staying great themselves. And
yeah,
that's a big part of it, man.
yeah. And
And
that's it.
also
Just like
just
in the
learning the game.
yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, go
just the
ahead.
social side, of the game, like at the training camps as well. Like I got him, like again, wheelchair basketball is a bit different. So I didn't actually know anything about basketball until I was sort of 16, 17 years old. I played basketball a little bit, but just of no standard. But I was a little bit older, so I went to a junior training camp, and I was like, why were those kids being horrible to that kid? Like, we're all fucking disabled here. Like, why? What's wrong with him? Like, everyone else. But older and a little bit, wasn't wiser, but just older, and I was already living a little bit by then. So just very early on, I was like, why are these kids being dicks? And I was like, right, this needs to change. Like, even this stupid attitudes is happening like the disabled life where everyone's got it tough already. Like, why are you picking on each other in this
Yeah,
club? Like, come on. Um, so yeah, it's huge, man. And is and
that's a
what
good
and
way to look at it, bro. Like we're all at a disadvantage, man. Like especially if you're not because you're disabled, but because you have those other obstacles at play at a young age.
yeah, it's
I mean,
huge,
even if
man.
you're
And
just an adolescent, bro, like
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah, and
But now
chucking
you got
disability
me
and things
thinking
like
a
that.
different seat.
Well, and
Yeah,
and that's
trucking
what we're trying to
disability.
do. And that's what you saw us at Venice Beach, me and my friend, and we've been there a few times, and we're just trying to push like street ball, like not just because obviously the Paralympics is the famous, everyone knows about the Paralympics, but
Yeah,
like on a domestic level or like street level, there's either there's a lack of disabled people that want to play street basketball, whatever. But we're just trying to push like other avenues to play the sport and just other options from it. It's not about being the best 12 players in the country, and it's not being the best in your
I
own
get that's
area.
dope, bro.
Yeah, and it's working, man. Like
That's
I'm sitting
dope,
here
man.
talking to you, like on a live stream. Like it's working. Like it's definitely working. We're getting
No,
there,
I
man.
like it. I
Yeah.
like it because I'm gonna do the same thing. So when you come out here again, bro, I don't like to play like that, but I'll sit down on one of those and we're going.
Well, that's it. And well, contact Nico. He's got one on the hoop bus. So I left one there. That was part of like I was like, dude, you need to take a wheelchair where you go. So he's got one on the hoop bus, and we actually left one at the Kobe court he went to in Italy. Like we left the wheelchair there as well. So the
Why don't we?
plan
I
is
don't.
like,
No, no, no. When you show up,
oh, okay, yeah, we'll be there, man. As soon as this
I'm
lockdown
trying to go
thing,
board you.
yeah, we'll show you, man. Well, the thing is, we want to run just events like Nick does on the beach, like, but just or add wheelchair game to the VBL, like it's as simple as that.
No, I just want to play
That's
you
it.
one on one, bro. I'm trying to get all the smoke from
Oh,
everybody who's good. So if you're the
oh,
best dude in the
okay.
wheelchair I know, I'm going at you, bro. That's what
Oh,
I'm
I'm
talking
not
about.
even that
Shots
good.
fired.
All right, fair enough. I'm not that good though, but yeah, we'll do it as soon
We
as we
know
can.
that.
I
The
get my
wheelchair
our
community
young
knows
guys.
you're not good.
Yeah, they definitely know that. They definitely
I'm
know
just
that.
giving you crap, man.
No, I'm
All
not that
right,
good.
I
I
know.
promise.
I'm okay. I've
That's
never played in a wheelchair like for
yeah,
serious. So let's get it.
yeah, we will, man.
We'll just be two sucky
Um,
shooters.
yeah, that's it. And that's it. I want to talk about. So obviously you're at Venice Beach all the time, and you see all these YouTubers and all of this stuff, like the people that are trying to get rich off of trying to like troll videos, like they come dressed as a nerd, this and that. Like some of them can ball and stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't like some of them, and they're so set up, and I don't know who's falling for them. As like, who thinks that actually happened? But maybe they do happen. Like Jenna Bandy, some of her videos are like, do you really think people thought you were doing yoga before you started playing basketball? Like, are you what? Like,
Exactly.
who falls for
Hey,
that
bro.
shit?
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. These people come up with these ingenious ideas while they're at home,
Mm.
like doing whatever they're doing, token or meditation or whatever. And they come up with these ideas and they say, let me go do this at Venice Beach. And I think, well, go for it. But the minute I see a dude show up or a chick show up and some dude has a $3,000 camera with him, you understand it's a content video. But what they don't know is that I'm really a real basketball player. So that's what
Yeah.
I tell people all the time. You play basketball. I'm a basketball player. So you can do all the content you want, but when it comes to step slide, defensive, and playing you at angles, I really do all that. It just so happens I'm decent at street ball, but I really understand basketball. And I'm gonna expose your ass. So when you come to the beach, and that's what happens. Normally, see this, I got the just for men in today. But normally I'm super gray. I'm looking old. So like, hey, the old dude, I'll play him. It'll make for good content. And I'm like, this is gonna be hilarious. And I've got three of them so far. I've gotten three of them so far. And
Do
one
you
of
know?
them, you'll never see the content for it.
Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just gonna
No,
say,
I'm
do you know
saying there's
Mr.
one guy,
Organics?
Mr.
Do you know
Organic.
Mr. He's a like a 7 foot black guy with a purple beard that makes YouTube videos, but he claims to be a little bit good at basketball,
No.
but he just drives. Oh man, I saw him once at Venice Beach, and then I've seen him on YouTube since then, and he's ridiculous. Like, and one of the
He
real
good?
ballers from the no, but he looks like he's good. And one of the real players from from Venice Beach challenged him when he had all his camera out, and he's like, "Cut the camera!" Like, no, cut this second. That was him done for the day. Like, it's like so
I've had it
fake,
happen
like
a
so
couple of
fake.
times.
Yeah.
No, and
Um,
but what I will say this, I have to say this. So I played this AJ Lepre guy, super cool person. Normally, I talked to him off camera, super cool. I played some Indian guy who came up there, and he all his stuff is staged. And then there was
mhm.
this Chinese basketball team that I played against. But I will say this, um, most of those guys, well, all of them didn't know who I was, but they were all. It was cool enough for them to include the content with it because they could edit it to leave me out, so it looks like they were just killing me. But most of the guys show, okay, I ran across somebody who's actually better than me, and I just have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I respect that. But it's been a lot of editing done because some of these guys miss a lot of shots, and all you see is the one goes through the net. But it's like, dude, you've been filming for 6 hours and only got 9 makeable shots. Like, come on, let's be
Yeah.
real.
And that's it. Like I love Venice Beach, but you can see how fake like so much stuff is. Like so fake and staged. Like unbelievable.
But
But
you're
like
in that
someone like
world.
yourself, it's it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
you understand editing, and you and Rupert, you could
Mm,
probably look at a video and be like, oh, it was cut here, it was spliced here,
yeah.
or this is a retake. Whereas for
Mhm.
me, if I'm gonna give you buckets, somebody's in the stands watching, like, damn, this happened a whole hour. He's been killing y'all for an hour straight, and y'all can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about Venice Beach, like,
Yeah.
because people can walk
Uh,
up and just see you get your ass whooped, and there's no do overs.
No, and that's
No,
again, we want to push the wheelchair game because there's a crowd. Like there's unless there's a corona going on, there's a crowd. There's a constant crowd. Like, and if you obviously there's so many people trying to stand out there, but if you're legit good trying to do something and you're not trying to show off, you're just very good at what you do. Like you get noticed and people will stop and watch. Like, and I know that if we have some really cool wheelchair games there, like with some more flashy passes and like a bit of razzle dazzle, like people will love it, man. And we've been there a few times, and yeah, people enjoy it. So we just need to get there more and get more people out there. But
now I'm
not
gonna say
everyone wants to
this
come to Venice Beach.
honestly.
People,
Yeah,
yeah,
everyone's going to be here anyway. But honestly, I would love to see. I don't want to see a sympathy crowd. I don't want to see people like, oh, I'm watching this, and it's a feel good story. I just want to see people who actually love basketball sit out there and be like, dude, that was a great shot, or that was just a good move. But I do have one question for you though, bro.
mm-hmm.
Does an
Mm-hmm.
on-ball pick happen in wheelchair games?
Just what? Sorry, on ball
On-ball
pick.
pick, like a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll send you
I
some
can
videos
understand a
later.
pick
But
away from the play.
yeah, it's exactly the
Really?
same. So if you've got it's exactly the same. So you can pick on the ball, and then it's hard to explain in this, but yeah, you can pick, turn out
No,
from
I
the
get
pick,
it, but
and
I'm
then
just
you go
saying, is it a
on
benefit
one.
from you to shoot?
Oh yeah, so someone would set a pick on the ball, and then you can just move off, and it creates a little space and a little bit of time, and then you can pop. Like it's
Got you.
yeah. Again, we'll make a video when we next come to Venice. Like we'll do it properly and
There
we'll
you
show you
go.
everything, man.
You
Just gotta
two
get
and
there.
rest of the world, be ready. I'm finna murder this dude. One-on-one wheelchair.
Shit, I need to get out there training, man, just in case. I'm going to text
No
Nick, tell him
worries.
not to let you use the wheelchair, like in case you go find it and start training.
No, I'm definitely. All
And
right, so let's get back to your storyboard. What's on your mind, Chief?
Jenna Bandy and troll videos, but we'll skip that. We've got the slang video, Rupert. Play that just to show Eugene in his environment and telling people some slang words that we can bring into the wheelchair game. Dylan Cummins, if you're watching, you want to hear these in your commentary.
Hey, how you doing? This is Eugene Wright here at the world famous Venice Beach basketball courts. And we're here to talk to you a little bit today about basketball and give you some of the terms and provide a little tutelage. Either if you played or haven't played as much, we're going to discuss a couple of the words and how we talk about this game called street ball. Let's get it. Typically, you're out here with your standard ball handling, but on street ball, you got a lot of moves. They hit you with the Philly, hands up, through the legs, spin move from New York, wrap around, in and out, or that straight wiggle. It's called putting them on skates. And we love to have guys on roller skates out here. Venice.
Oh man, what a beautiful play.
Here on my man Isaac. He's going to be helping me display some of the skills and some of the terms we use out here on the street ball courts. Cookies, rips, 211. Anytime you take the ball from another individual and they don't know it's coming, yeah, that's pretty much a 211. When you're out on the streets, most people come down, give you the fundamental assist, thumbs down, chest pass or bounce pass for an assist. Out there you put a little flair on it. We call it draw one, kick two. Draw one defender, kick to the open guy. We like to kick those assists off out here. Dime time. This is Eugene Wright. Thanks for hanging out at the beach with me. Wonderful day. come out any time of year, any day. You find me out here, come get this work. I'm ready.
Cool video that. Cool.
That's funny. I forgot all about that.
You got some cool
That
videos
was a
out there,
young me,
mate.
man.
Yeah, you've got some cool stuff out there, man. But I can tell, like, because you've got like 3 different Eugene Wright YouTube pages. Like, there's like a few with your videos.
I never
like,
use them, man.
And I can tell, like, you've got all these sick fucking videos, but like they get a lot of views. But if it's all together, man, you've got some real cool stuff. Anyway,
I need to condense them. You're right, man. I need to consolidate.
Someone needs to help you. So apart from Venice Beach, where is your favorite place to play basketball? That, like, where's, obviously Venice is, to a few of us, it's like we love it, but apart from Venice, where would you like to play ball?
So Venice is home. Venice is home, but I spend a lot of time at this place called, if I go indoors, I go to this place called The Collections in Oxnard, California. They have a 24-hour fitness, and boy, I go in there and get it in. So I'll be uploading some clips to YouTube from me destroying people in there, because it's no wind, no seagulls, no homelessness, and just straight gym and me shooting from super deep, bro. Like one step across half court, letting it go. In game, murdering people and talking big shit. So I'll edit that pretty soon, clips, and put them up. And then in addition to that, but where else do I play? Honestly, anywhere where people hoop. If they might say, hey, they're playing at Penmore, or they're playing at whatever gym in the hood. Hey, they're balling here this week. Okay, I'm there.
Cool.
I just love to play basketball, like wherever. What's yours, man? What's your spot?
Venice,
your backyard.
my house.
Everybody don't have a full court of a regulation court in their backyard. You know what I mean?
It's not regulation court. It's only half court.
Some of us have to use palm trees. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Man,
balling on the
I'd happily use the palm tree right now. You're welcome anytime, by the way. Whenever you want to come here, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you,
We've
brother. Thank you, brother.
But yeah, for me, it's Venice. I got the opportunity to play in Israel once off a last-minute decision, and got to play 3x3 in Israel. That was a life experience that I enjoyed. But other than that, it's Venice, man. Venice. That's where the dream is to play. Well,
the coolest place I played that I will go back. Actually, I'll send you the photo. I got to play in on a gym in a court of water, bro. The dome is underneath. I was in Dubai, and I played in a gym underwater.
Nice.
That's the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I missed a free throw because like a stingray came by me, like out the peripheral. Normally you see birds fly by. There's a stingray, bro. I was like, no, this is not even real.
Well, that was more off-putting than like someone on crystal meth at 10 in the morning, like losing their shit.
No, that's normal. That's standard Venice life, bro. You know, if you don't hear it, then you're nervous. If you went up to Venice and didn't hear a crackhead, or you didn't see a meth head, or homeless people fighting each other, or bum fights, bro, you'd be like, what the hell's wrong with the planet? Like, we're about to have an earthquake or something. Like, what's wrong? No, that's funny.
There's still homeless people during Corona season. They're still out there, or what?
Dude,
what's the deal?
Even way more homeless people.
Really?
Because the locals aren't there, and then they're being ushered toward the beach. They're ushering them away out of the city life. So if you're sheltering in place, they're trying to keep them out of particular environments. So now at the beach, they have the warm climate and no one to bother them. There are not a lot of tourists. And all the shops are closed, so you can sleep in front of anybody's shop because ain't nobody there.
So is it a little bit more fun at Venice right now, apart from the hoops?
Oh, come on, man, it's crazy. Oh my God. I've seen a minimum of like 55 homeless fights, and then normal fights. Like, everyone's antsy and just tired of being inside, and no one has money, and they fighting over the last bottle of Ripple. I'm just like, dude, this is weird. But let's not, like, you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
You should get out there. Have you seen what Nick's doing? Well, you obviously know what Nick does with the hoops and stuff. He's put up like 30 hoops in alleyways in the past like 2-3 weeks or something, like made out of all sorts of stuff.
None of that.
Oh man,
I'm not trying to go to nobody's community and put a hoop up. No, because I tell you what, you come in my alley trying to put something up, and I'm chilling, and I'm hearing hammering and ratcheting and sawing, you're gonna have issues, bro. So
Awesome.
I keep myself at the beach on the palm trees, chilling and just enjoying
Cool,
life.
man. Um, yeah.
No biggie.
And yeah, we've got some pictures of from your travels across the world. So I think if I'm right, we're going to be able to put a picture up and then discuss it and tell us where it is, and we'll move on to the next one. So yeah, Rupert, if you could put straight away. There you go. Tell us about
Oh,
this picture. Where
dope.
is it?
Oh, hanging out on vacation in Istanbul. I was in Turkey, like big chilling, and it was midway through the season. And the craziest part about being there was when you go to places like that, you realize I'm American and they don't celebrate Christmas. So people look at you crazy as fuck when you got a Santa Claus beard or a bottle of wine or something that's not traditional to their community. And you're like,
Mm.
wow, I have to really acclimate my lifestyle and adjust for the environment. But that was a fun time. It was one of the hottest places you can be in Europe at the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Did
pretty
you play
much that. We can
basketball
go to
there?
the
Yeah.
next one. Oh, no,
Did,
I was just chilling.
okay. Cool.
I was big chilling there. This is at the same city, man. And I was somebody bet me that I in boots. I was wearing if you looking close, I was wearing these super huge boots, and someone bet me I couldn't touch my toes while
Mm.
wearing jeans and boots. And I actually did a toe touch and won a whole thing of Starbucks coffee for a week while I was on vacation.
Awesome.
All right, that we can go to the next one. Let's see.
That's
Okay,
cool.
I love this photo. So I was playing. I had a game, and we had a game, and we went to Dublin for the playoffs. And this is at Trinity College in Essex, in Dublin.
In Essex. Oh, Dublin.
Yep, this is
Yep.
Dublin. This is Trinity College. And the dope part about this is that they have one of every book in their library. So every book that's printed, they keep one copy, and this is just a majority of some of the books you can see, but they have a vault, bro. It was one of the
Wow.
dopest things I've ever been to. And I was
Full of
like, this is a
knowledge.
great photo op. Oh yeah, you gotta be smart. You just can't be a book nerd or a basketball nerd. You gotta have it all, man. But I like that
Yeah,
photo.
man.
The library is awesome. Next photo, bro. Vacation in Ibiza. My,
Oh,
and I
in
never took a
Ibiza.
pill in
Sick.
Ibiza, bro. Yep. I
Oh,
was
a
in
real baller.
so I was in Gran Canaria, bro. Just we just solidified first place. We're moving up to Pro B, and we knew we were going to do it because we had whooped every team horribly, and so this was my vacation time. And the funniest thing about this photo, I was there by myself, so I had to ask the maid to the housekeeper woman if she could take a photo for me. I had to be the biggest experience for her ever because she didn't speak English very well. And I was like, "Excuse me, can you my room and take a picture while I know she's like, what the hell, random black dude, but she
Awesome.
she did it. It was dope. I had a moment to remember, man.
Cool.
That was fun times. All right,
Did you
next
go to a
photo.
club? Did you go to a club in Ibiza?
Oh, nah, because I was on Gran Canaria, so I partied on
Oh,
somebody else's city and came back to my hotel. But the clubs were kind of and
yeah, you're
everybody should
from
know
LA, man.
this. Yeah, of course, you got to go hard in the paint, bro. Uh, this one was this one was Taksim Square, and I was walking around the bazaar, and this is in Turkey, in Istanbul, and this picture is important to me for a very specific reason. I was walking around the bazaar, and for the first time in my life, I've been confronted with uh, racial things because I've been called a nigger before in my life, but never by it's been by Americans, bro. I never had somebody from another country. So I was in Istanbul, second year playing, and I
Oh,
go to Istanbul to hang out, and I wouldn't buy a fake Louis Vuitton bag, and the dude was like, "Fucking nigger," and I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no. You say rich nigger when you talk to me." And I just started, and my boy started laughing. He's like, eh. And it was just funny because it was like you have to diffuse the situation. But it lets me know that when you go to places in the world, you have beautiful humans, and you got cool people, and you also got assholes all over. And just
wherever you go.
live your life and be cool with exactly. But it always makes me think about that type of stuff, like treat people how you want to be treated because every person's a foreigner in somebody else's community.
Mm. Yeah.
Cool. Nah.
And just your reaction as
Next
well, that
photo.
might change his opinion as well. Like he might think differently next time he wants to say something stupid, like because you've put him in his place quite respectfully. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
but the crazy part about it was I don't think it was something like his English wasn't good enough to even treat it as a real thing. He
Mm.
just said it because he's heard it before, part of his natural dialogue. He just knew that it
Yeah,
was offensive to black people. I don't think he was saying it with any malcontent. It's just he knows that's the word we use to get someone's get under their skin.
yeah,
Oh, this one. Venice, Christmas, Venice, Italy. Cold as hell. I thought it'd be nice to travel there. We had a game in Milan, and I was like,
yeah,
I mean, we had a game in Future Ventura, or was it? Yeah, someplace out there. No, not Future Ventura. We had a game in Fontanelli, and I said, hey, let's go down to Venice. Yeah, this would be dope. And I didn't know that everything was done on these little things, like and everything. Taxis, they're all done on water. I just thought you get
yeah,
there and it's different. So this was my culture shock. Like, fuck, one, it's cold, and two, every place I want to go is going to be in a boat, even the buses.
yeah.
And so I was like, that, yeah, it threw me off, bro. It threw me off because I'm from the hood. I was like, what? No metro, and I got no bus card. But
And
so
yeah,
that
the
was just
Venice
me
of
learning the world.
you've seen both Venices in the world, and yeah, very different places,
Exactly.
very
Very
different.
different. All right, can we get to the next one? Let's see what the next one is. Oh, Abu Dhabi. I played for the Dragons in Dubai, and in Abu Dhabi, and I would go to Dubai to the mall, and it just happened the year I was there. That's when the 2008 2009 happened, and I remember that was super crazy about it is you went to the airport and you seen Porsches and all these dope cars abandoned. People were just leaving the country and leaving their cars there, like the market was ruined. It was nuts. The dope part about being in that city, man, is they have the biggest mall in the world and the second biggest mall in the world. And
Cool.
I went ice skating in the mall, bro. I went ice skating in the mall. Like they have an ice skating rink in the mall. I was like, this is ridiculous. This doesn't
Is
make
that where
sense.
the
And
aquarium was as well? Is that where the
yeah,
basketball
that
court?
aquarium. Yeah, man. Oh,
That's
dude,
so cool.
it was nuts. And they have yeah, it's ridiculous. All right,
That's
let's go
cool,
to the
man.
next one. So this is my home city. This is, if I was to play anywhere, the second place, this is the only city where I've spent multiple seasons. This is Heidelberg, Germany. And that's the Schönebrücke, the Schönebrücke Bridge. And this is where I would walk home every day. And it's one of those rare few days it was actually warm enough to wear a t-shirt without having a jacket on out there. And people used to trip out like, oh, he walking around and his t-shirt says South Central Los Angeles. And so he's like, are, are, are you African? I'm like, dude, read the t-shirt. I'm from the hood.
Your
No, but
Starbucks or
that
whatever.
was really, yeah, that's my Starbucks every day. That's why I would go on and Skype and all that and talk to people back at home. That was my second home. Heidelberg being my default setting. I love that city, bro. Like super love it.
So is that
Next
on your
picture.
part of your routine? Is
Oh,
that where you'd be on your routine? Like, is that on your daily routine on that bridge? You'd walk over that bridge, like for your
yeah, sometimes
basketball
I take a
routine?
bus in. No, 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 no. That's just days, pre-game days.
Uh,
If I'm gonna walk around, that's the place I would go. I would go down there and hang out. I would hang out in the city or in what they call the why am I drawing a blank right now? I would hang out in the town square, get some
yeah,
Starbucks, and just watch the people walk by and look at the world and see how these people operate amongst each other. It was like
yeah,
being a fish in a glass bowl watching other people. It was dope.
yeah,
Yeah. This
yeah.
is
Germans are cool.
Amsterdam.
Yeah. Oh, another
Oh, go
great
ahead. Go
place.
ahead. What you gonna say, bro?
Oh no, no, it's cool. It's just I love Germany, but we move on. I also love Amsterdam. Let's talk about
Dude.
Amsterdam.
Oh, this was just one of those. I happened to go there. I'd never been. I was already on the side of the world or that side of the world, and so I was like, "Dude, let me go here." And so I'm standing like directly next to the Anne Frank house, and there's this weird museum right here.
Mhm.
And some guy walked up in a Scottish kilt and gave me a hug and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Bro, we don't touch people where I come from." And he had his bagpipes and all the thing, and I was like, "Oh, that's dope." But yeah, no, still don't touch me. But I love the city, man. It was, and I don't smoke, so I didn't really get it. But just
Mm.
watching people be out and seeing the red light district and how they move, I was like, I get it without the smoking, but I still get it. It was a nice city to be in. It was super. It was. I can say this: if it's a place for lovers, if you go there, because you had all these little walkways and bike paths and all that. I was like, okay, I
Mm.
can see people being, some let's get married, engaged here type stuff. All
Yeah,
right,
some
next
crazy
picture,
stuff
man.
goes on there. Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is the Duomo, bro, in
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah, yeah,
I was at the
Milan.
Duomo. Yeah. I ended up hooking up with this dude who's a basketball player, and he's an aficionado. He owns this thing called, his name is Massimo, and he owns Bad Spirit clothing line. And he's a creator. He does clothes for like U2 and all these groups, the Italian national soccer team, and
Cool.
he has a clothing club like 2 blocks from the Duomo. So I went to visit him because he's a diehard basketball lover, and I went to play in one of his tournaments, a 3-on-3 tournament, and he invited me to his home and to meet his family and all this during my season, and I hung out with him while I was in Italy, and it was he showed me around and showed me a great time, and I went to this amazing place, and the the minute details on this things are ridiculous, man. If you
Yeah,
actually just go look at it, it's
yeah, yeah.
super, yeah, it's super dope. You ever been
I was
there
lucky.
to Milan?
Yeah, yeah, I was lucky enough. My first professional season was in Varese, which is 30 minutes from Milan, like from the Duomo. So, yeah, I've seen that quite a few times.
And then
Yeah,
the little bull where you got to step on the balls and turn 3 times.
yeah, I've been there enough times now. I didn't step on anything though. Don't know if you did.
It's probably for good luck. Cool.
Um,
Let's see the next one, man.
yeah, man, that place is awesome. Oh, cool.
Dude, this was in I was in Egypt in El Guna, and you get like, who go to Africa and don't ride a camel? And you black? Come on, bro. Mandatory. Got to ride a camel. So it
Yeah,
was that was just a cool experience, and those things are tall. Like, to sit up there, I was like, if I fall, this is gonna hurt. Shit. Like, but it was a great experience, and it lets me know how blessed I am to travel the world and see cool places. But this was a cool place called El Guna, and I was like, black dude on a camel, let's get it. Turn up.
that's it, man.
All
It's
right, next
cool.
picture.
Ah, cool.
Everybody know where this at. The
Yeah.
Colosseum. I went to Rome. We had where did we play? We had a game not too far away from there, and I was able to sneak away for 2 days. And I went to hang out in Rome, and it was one of the dopest things. I got to chill and see it, and I wasn't caught up with the whole gladiator aspect of it, but just seeing the city was dope.
Mm.
All right,
Yeah, it's
next
interesting.
picture.
I've been there a few times, and it's yeah, it's very. Yeah, I think it's everyone has to go to Rome, like just to see it. Yeah, to see the history.
You have
Yeah.
to, man. Yeah, the history involved. That's a dope place to be. Like, it's a lot of
Mm,
lineage associated with it. And the
yeah,
old
man.
buildings, it was dope for me, man. I loved it. Just walking around. I even bought one of those fake 300 masks with like the helmets.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
dope.
Awesome.
Budapest. I went ice skating. This is in Budapest
Yeah.
on a lake. I was in Budapest, took a selfie on a lake, and I just happened to be walking by this place. And I looked around and I was like, this is real lake. It's just frozen. And I was scared at first because, black people, we don't swim at all. So not only will I sink, I might not like, no, we swim, bro. So I was like, all right, it should be it should be pretty cool. And so I just went out there and went ice skating for the day, and it was chill. And I got to embrace the culture of it. In Budapest, the food was cool. The drinks are super cheap, but they have some of the most beautiful people walking around. It threw me off that old, young, no matter where you were in the Buddha or the Pest side, people were attractive. I was just walking up to people like, are you from here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, how are y'all so gorgeous? Like, is it the water? What the hell? But it's one of them things, bro. One of those places in the world.
Yeah.
Let's see the next
I've
one. What's
never
the
been
next
there.
one? You gotta go. You gotta go. I'm sure you've been here before. This is Mannheim, Germany.
I've drove
This is
past there.
next to the
Definitely drove past.
Wasserturm. Yeah, go because if you have to play Heidelberg Tech, if you play uh, um, Mannheim in Heidelberg, if you played against Tech or whoever that other roller team is that played Regionalliga, they're 20 minutes from here. But it's a cool
Okay.
place. This is the Wasserturm, a tower in the middle of the city, and it's pretty dope. It's a cool little area just to walk around and see. Get you some Starbucks, dude. I lived off Starbucks when I was there.
Yeah.
Where were you at on the backside?
So I was in a very small, my first season in Germany, I was in a very small town called Raden, which was like 50 miles from a motorway or like some real civilization. It was weird. But then the next season I was in Hanover, which was, one of the nicest places I've ever been to in my life. And I'd, I'd go I'm going to go back there
You went from
if my
one extreme
girlfriend
to
wants
the
it.
other.
Yeah, man. I'm very lucky. I've got a very understanding girlfriend, so I wasn't going to go back and play pro, but the decision was to either try and get in the GB squad again or go and play pro. And she was pregnant, and she knows the healthcare in Germany is really good, so she said, "Let's go to Germany, and then you'll be about more." And so she said, "If we can go to Germany, if she wants another baby." So if she wants another baby,
Oh,
Coach
okay.
Cook, if you're listening,
You
we're
better
coming
work on
back.
it, bro.
Oh yeah, man,
You
it's
better play on
it's
some
cool.
smooth music, bro. Put on some of
No,
that slow jams and get to it.
I'm not ready yet. I've got a little boy now. I'm not ready. It's not yet.
I know,
Yeah,
but you think you're doing it for your career, bro. Oh, okay, I know
yeah,
this one, bro. Come on.
yeah. Piccadilly
So
Circus.
that was my third time being there, and the first time I was staying, they put me in Guernsey or Jersey,
Hmm.
whatever island is
Yeah,
closest
yeah,
to London. And I'm like 60
yeah.
miles away because they didn't want us to get into trouble when we had games.
Is that
I was
why?
like, damn, yeah, fucking sheep and strawberry, bro. Really? Sheep
Yeah,
and
yeah.
strawberry. That was all I was on the island. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Really? You gonna put three
Well,
black people in the middle of nowhere?
what actually happens there?
It
It's
was,
like a tax place. So it's full of rich people. Those islands,
yeah,
um, where
yeah,
they have holiday homes and stuff. But yeah, nothing exciting goes
but
on there apart from
it
that.
was just sheep and strawberry, bro, the whole time. And I understand it's a tax, one of those tax. I was like, what the fuck is black people gonna do here? It's three of us. One of them's 6'11". We're gonna stand out. So you have to take the little ferry every day, every other day to practice. I was like, oh, this is the worst. But yeah, shout out to London. I mess with that heavy though. All right, next picture.
Oh, that's it. That is the
Oh, that was
pictures.
it. All right, there we
That was
go.
all. We had
There we
loads
go.
more,
We
but
got through
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We got through it.
yeah, man. And obviously, because you're from America, not a lot of Americans really, on percentage, I don't think many Americans leave America, do they? For various
Nah,
reasons. Like,
nah.
and obviously
Be
you
it
traveled
social,
the world,
economic. Yeah,
and like, do you
yeah.
really push people to leave the country if they can, like, go and see the world, like, open your eyes, like, do you tell
Honestly,
the kids to get
seeing
out?
the world, yeah, seeing the world improves your tolerance, man. It makes you that much more understanding of people. And you'd be like, oh, so there's this woman who comes down to Venice Beach and she sells drinks and stuff. And everyone thought she was Mexican. I looked at her and said, no, she's not Mexican. Her eyes lit up. She was like, you know about Turkey? I was like, specifically, you're Turkish from Germany because you speak German. And she was like, how you know that? I was like, I've just been around enough people. It's like, I always joy, it's like being Blade. You have all the strengths of European people, but none of the weaknesses. Like you're not bad with sunlight. Like you can hang out at the beach all day. Like
Uh,
but
yeah, I
it's a
can't.
cool thing because it teaches you to be okay with other people or why they are the way they are, and that's important
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
For you to just not
Um,
get mad at somebody.
yeah, doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, and obviously you played a lot of street ball, but you played professional basketball, and obviously, like in my opinion, like this is probably why I'm not that good at basketball. I'm more interested in the flashy side of basketball than running the perfect pick and roll. But fun ultimately, like, and I want your opinion. Like, you can do all of it. You can obviously do all the flashy razzle dazzle stuff, but ultimately fundamentals win championships, and like competitions, right? Like that's what. Say if you're young kids watching, they shouldn't be working on their over the head back pass. They should be working on their offhands and fundamentals, right? None of the stupid shit that I try and do. What do you
I
say?
think both. I think both.
Yeah,
I think the street ball side prepares you for the toughness. It gets you tough. It makes you ready to do all the things you need to do on the court. But the fundamentals give you the discipline to stay at it, the due diligence of constantly working. So they go hand in hand. It's a beautiful marriage. So I always, whenever I'm in a gym and I get bored of doing all the fundamental stuff, the monotonous grind, then I'll take 20 minutes out to work on a around my back through the leg reverse layup. Because then you're like, all right, now my mind's clear again. I can get back to just knocking down another 100 free throws. Because pretty soon you get locked in and when you're hitting them, but you're zoning out. So you get to a point like, oh, let me do something else. Let me throw it off the wall. Let me throw it off the wall, off this wall, all net, trick shots, stuff like that. But yeah,
awesome.
that's a very good point though, man. You gotta mix it up with both. And I've never met a really, really skilled basketball player that doesn't have any street ball in him. I've met
Really?
street ballers who can understand basketball, but I've never met a really, really skilled pro who's never played on somebody's streets. Because you need that toughness. You need a motherfucker to beat you up or push you around or treat you poorly
Yeah. I
or
hope you're
take your
listening,
girlfriend.
wheelchair ballers. This is what needs to change in wheelchair basketball because it's a bit like, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's obviously it's a disabled sport, but with this little bit of toughness, it not only will make them better at basketball, but it's again the off-court side of it. Like if you can handle a little bit of rough and tumble on a basketball court, and you can play through the foul, or you can get called a knobhead by someone as you're taking a shot, or a fat prick or something, and it doesn't bother you. Like
Yeah.
it's just a big outside of the game. Like we need more of it in the wheelchair game, and people need to play in the street and play with the fouls and accept it, and learn to play through the
I
fouls and
think there's
stuff
a
like
level of sensitivity for that as well, though. I think that's the point. People have to, because you're dealing with the level of people being disabled, there wants to be a level of courtesy, but I feel like you're doing them a disservice by being over courteous because if they
Yeah,
weren't in a wheelchair, you talk the same amount of trash to them at Venice as you would if he was not sitting in a wheelchair.
exactly.
So if you want to be treated as an equal, talk shit to him like an equal.
Exactly, man.
Like
Exactly.
that's just how it goes, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah, that's a very valid point. Yeah.
we'll be able to make some cool videos, man, when we come to
So what
Venice
are
next.
you?
Funny trash talking videos, man. So
It
yeah, and
happens.
yeah, we've got. Let me just check the YouTube because people might have asked a few questions. Um, oh,
How many people
Coach
watching?
Carl,
Tell me out. I'm out.
at the moment, there's only 8, but we haven't really done any promotion because I don't need to explain my life, but I've smashed a lot of my phones by accident. I've broke 2 phones and an iPad this week.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah. But anyway, so someone said, Coach Carlos, you ever played at the mecca of street basketball, Rucker Park?
Yeah, I've actually played in the EBC Classic. I played down there and I played at West Fourth. And it might have started in New York, but it got perfected in the hood. Remember that.
So would you say
Basketball
what,
started in the East, but we
in the
made it what
East?
it is today. Yeah,
Okay.
New York is the Mecca, but we made it what it is, though. You're welcome.
Awesome. Hear that, Coach Carlos? Awesome. William Hepburn, who was toughest person you've ever played against?
Man, 2 immediately come to mind. Tommy Davidson, Long Beach State, and Kimber Walker. Um,
Kemba Walker.
Kimber Walker is coming in his rookie year, but none of them were tougher than my little brother.
Awesome.
It just so happens my little brother is pretty good with a basketball, and he was a professional also. And he's a big guard. His name is Baron Davis. So
Ah,
it's pretty tough to defend.
cool.
Yeah. So
Mental.
yeah. So us going
Very
against
good.
each other as kids made it a little difficult.
Cool, man.
But other than
That's
that, yeah.
interesting, man. There you go, Hepburn. Did you hear that? That Hepburn's one of my school friends. I didn't go to school, but I've known him since school age.
All right, cool.
Oh, Coach Carlos, do you think you could beat Coach Carlos in any game? Obviously, you don't know who Coach Carlos is, but I'm saying yes, you could. He says 1-on-1, 21s,
He can
3-point
get.
contest, free throws, game of horse. He wants it. He wants a field free, but yeah. And then Charlie
I can beat him at
McIntyre.
drinking water if he want to.
That's interesting if you know his history. This is Charlie McIntyre. Where's the coolest place you've ever played ball? I think you've already answered that today.
Yeah. Aside from the Dubai thing, that was the
Yeah,
absolute coolest. But yeah, other than that, man, I can't think of any place cooler than that, man.
No,
That
I
had to
think
be
fair
that was
enough.
the apex of it for me.
So there you go,
Cool.
Charlie. There's your challenge. You need to play at Dubai Mall in the aquarium to be as cool as Eugene. That's your challenge, pal. So
Come
we've
to
got
Venice.
one question. Well, man, if he wasn't so dedicated to his studies for when the Hoop Bus launch was, I'd asked him to come. Like he was going to come with me, but he wasn't allowed because he wanted to do his studies. And he's like, how could ever cool basketball is he needs to do his studies. So I was like, perfect. Stay at home.
School first,
Come
bro.
next
School
time.
first. Stay at home. Get your class.
Exactly. But you will meet him eventually, man. When the timing's right and he's allowed to come on holiday with me, you'll get to meet him. So we've got a really good question from my right-hand man, if you want to call him that, Hadj from High Rollers, who you met at the beach with me. He says, what would you tell an 18-year-old Eugene, like now? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Me talking to my former self, I would say to a young Eugene, congratulations and stay the course. And it will all be worth it. Everything you persevere, everything you went through, everything you deal with, it gets a lot better. And it gets tougher in some areas, but you're on the right path and make the choices you make. Keep doing what you've done and keep doing what you're doing. I would tell me to stay the course, and it works out.
Good answer.
And I'll also say, the last thing I would tell me is work on that spin move, bro, because that's golden for you. Like it works.
You hear that, Hadj?
I got a killer spin move. Yeah.
Yeah, those Hadj.
All right.
And well, one more question. If Eugene was to play his last game of basketball, who would be the 4 other players he'd want on his team for that game? Good question.
Oh shit, that is a great question. Past or present?
Up to you. He doesn't specify, so
4 people.
up to you.
Dude, hands down. I would love to play with Wilt. It would be Eugene, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and Jordan.
It's a pretty good lineup.
If we had to go present, it'd be me, Baby Bro, Will I Am, Michelle Obama, because I know President Obama could play, but I want to see Michelle, what she got on the perimeter. And the last person would be probably Justin Timberlake, bro. That'd be my Cinco.
That'd be crazy fun. Do you hear
Cinco.
that, Hadj? That's not the answers he would have been expecting. Awesome. Yeah, what did you say about Michelle Obama? You say you know her. What did you say?
No, I said because we know President Obama can play, but we don't know if Michelle Obama can hoop.
Okay.
No, I've only met her like twice, bro. She's a chill person too.
All right.
But I'm just saying,
crazy. Crazy, man. And this is the thing. I think Eugene's pretty humble. Like he's obviously pretty cool in his own right, but I think he's holding a lot back. Like he's done a lot of cool stuff and met a lot of cool people and done probably a lot more cooler things than he's letting on, and probably rolls in some circles that we'd never know about. But yeah, it's cool.
That's why you keep life to yourself. That's why you're allowed in those circles, because you don't bring it up.
Yeah, but that's it, man. Exactly. And that's probably why you're here today. Just, keeping it real. What else have we got written on here? How often do you train away from the basketball court? So how much training without a ball in your hands? What do you do?
Oh, that's very significant. So I have a whole regimen. So you got to do what's called leg work. So before you start doing all the wind sprints and all that, you got to get your cardio up. So I would do that. I do the mileage 4 times a month, and that's running like 22 to 28 miles. You do
Mhm.
that just to get your wind up. Then you start doing the sprinting part. So I train regularly without a basketball because everyone thinks basketball is dribble, dribble, shoot, shoot, pass. No, it's conditioning. Excuse me. It's conditioning and it's mental preparation.
Mm.
So I watch plays, I watch films. I want to be familiar with every style of play. Like a lot of Germans use horns, a lot of Filipinos use a triangle setup. Once you learn everything that people do, you know what's coming. So that's kind of
Yeah,
like my deal. Mental preparation and physical readiness.
good answer. And how
That's good
important is
questions,
rest?
bro.
Yeah, and how important is rest physically and mentally as well to manage to stay, not peak, but keep the wheels running on the, so you
I
don't
don't
fall off
think
the
I
wagon.
don't think you get a I don't think you get a real big chance for mental rest because your mind goes when you're as obsessed with things as you are, be it
Mhm.
sport or being good at something. Physical rest is important, but only to the extent that your body needs it. I'm someone who I can sleep 4 hours a night and go play 11 hours of basketball. That's just me. But it's everybody has a different motor.
Mhm.
So it's what you built for. But if
Cool.
you're young and developing, you need a lot of rest. But if you're some old battle axe like myself, dude, I don't need to rest. I just
You
come out and
rest
get
soon.
buckets and I'll rest. Yep, you rest when you die.
Yeah, yeah, man. And another guy that I've met at Venice Beach to give me, I couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, this could only happen at Venice Beach. But there's like a old white guy, like he was probably like 6'8", white hair, basketball that looked as old as him. Started talking to me, and then he was like, "I'll be back in 5 minutes," and he bought me a CD, and it was a song that he'd made. But I've seen him in a video that you're on as well, Venice. I can't remember his name. I've got the CD somewhere, but I'm just wondering, like, if you could tell me a bit about him. But
Oh, oh, I,
literally,
I know the dude you're talking about. So he's an older
yeah,
white dude who shoots, who can shoot.
yeah,
He looks like somebody from a Scooby Doo mystery. Yeah,
yeah,
I
shoots
know
from
the
up
dude you're
here, like,
talking about, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
do you know
yeah,
about
that
him?
dude. I just seen him around. I've shot with him a couple of times, and I've spoken to him. And dude has a pretty good stroke on him, though, bro. His jumper is like low key wet ball.
Yeah, yeah,
But I seen him down the courts, and he comes down early morning. You catch him out there like 8 or 9 o'clock on a Sunday or a Saturday.
hmm
And
yeah,
yeah, you're right. He's about six. I want to say he's about 6'4", 6'5", and he can shoot.
yeah. Really shoot, man.
So yeah, before this pandemic, funny story. I played him. We played one on one, and we played 8 games, super random. And he has a decent shot, and I was trash talking him and hitting him with, and it was all age appropriate, but it was just like, don't think you're don't think you're immune to getting your ass whipped because you're old. I don't respect my elders on the court, bro. Sorry. But that's funny
uh,
that you brought him up because I actually ran into him and he was in the video with about Patrick.
hmm
He
Yeah,
was in the video where they're talking about Patrick's life and him being the white chocolate dude at Venice Beach.
hmm yeah, yeah. That,
Yeah,
that's yeah. That's a cool video. That. Um,
yeah. I've known Pat since he moved out here. He's a cool dude.
if you've got the link to the old white guy, man, the really tall, like, get him on. I'd love for him to have 5 minutes on here, man. Invite him round so he can. I don't know how good he is with computers, but he's got a mixtape, so I'm sure he's capable. But I'd love to hear
I didn't even know he
some
had
of
a
the things.
mixtape, bro.
Oh, well,
I didn't even know he had a
it's like
mixtape.
six. It's like 6 songs. Like I spoke to him for a bit, and he's like, "I'll be back in a minute." And I don't know where he went. He come back with a CD. I was like, "I can't wait to listen to this." And it was a song about being tall, and it was really interesting. I was like, I want to speak to that guy again, but obviously, it's
That's
Venice. These
crazy.
things
If I when
happen.
I run across him when I run across him, I'll let him know. I'll let him know.
Yeah, let him know,
But
man. Yeah,
so
he's,
that I want to say I truly appreciate you guys for like hooking it up, man, and being chill with me, man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that, man. And
Ah,
and thank you, Rupert, for tolerating me and my verbiage slash colloquialisms.
Yeah, we've got
you're the
we've got
man,
your
dude.
song to play out with as well. Can you tell us a bit
All
about the
right.
song? Do you want to tell us about the song a little bit before we play it and end out, or
Yeah,
it's
no,
up to you?
I'll tell you.
I think
No,
it's pretty
so
cool.
um, I was dating this girl, and I didn't know she was a songwriter and did all this stuff. And she's this amazing woman who used to sing at events and all this. And she's Filipino. And what made it so crazy about the deal was she was dating prior to me, directly prior to me. She was dating another basketball player who played for University of Cincinnati. And the dude name was Justin Love. One of the coolest names I ever fucking heard in my life. Justin Love. So they
Uh,
would say, "Oh, the crowd is just in love with Just in Love."
that's too
So the
easy.
point of that being, the first half of the song is about him saying how he was toward her in the relationship, and the second half was she found her Mr. Right, which is Mr. Right with the W, of course. So yeah, I thought it was a
So
cool
yeah,
thing, and she just gave it to me, and she was like, "I wrote this for you," and it was cool.
so yeah,
And
um, yeah. We'll listen to it, man.
and
And
before I cut out, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, yeah. Say what you got to say, man. This is you. This is your show, man. Say what you got
No, I was
to
just
say.
gonna say before I go, I just want to truly like thank you for taking time out of your day, you and Rupert, and like I'm a big proponent of what you guys do. So I'll get behind high rollers like that and help you guys out in any way when you're in LA or abroad. If there's anything I can do for you guys, just let me know, man. We can stay in contact.
Appreciate it. We'll be in contact anyway. But yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, this is a start of something big. Hopefully, I think with what we're doing, and thanks to Rupert, it's given us the platform. So. And none of us are in it to make money, so we're all in this for the love of the game. So that's why it's working perfectly, because we're all just here because we love basketball. And that's it. Maybe a bit too much, but whatever. So yeah,
You
we appreciate
obsessive.
your time. We appreciate Rupert, your help and making this happen. And yeah, we'll speak soon, Eugene. And I appreciate your time, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for
Peace,
having me,
man.
man. And you guys stay safe. Stay
No
blessed, bro.
worries. Enjoy the song. Cheers, Rupert. You
All
can
right.
make it disappear off the screen. Eugene, hang up. Eugene, hang up. Just hang up.
Have you ever loved someone to the point that nothing matters to you? He was all you knew. Don't you ever wish that he returned the love you gave unconditionally? He instead let you be. As time passed by, people change, but you wonder why your feelings remain, and they stay the same. And you try all to do what you know is best for you. Walk away, walk away, walk away, and you find it hard to say to yourself you'll be okay. It'll be okay. Hear me say you'll be okay. Oh, I know I'll be alright, though it's killing me inside. I admit I try to hide all the pain with all my might. Oh, I hope he'll realize all his wrongs that made me cry. Can't believe how broken me by the love of my life. Yeah. Oh. First time I looked into your eyes, I got lost for words and was hypnotized. Couldn't breathe, I tried. My life has changed since that day. Since the day we met, it's never been the same. I forgot the feel of pain. Can't believe I finally found someone who never brings me down. Can't you see, I'm so happy this second time around. I can't explain, I can't describe how you made me feel these feelings, 'cause it's just hard to undo. But there's just something about you. Can't believe I finally found someone who never brings me down. Can't you see I'm so happy this second time around? I can't explain, I can't describe how you make me feel inside. Could it be I finally found my Mr. Right, Mr. Right.
Hello, good evening, and it's welcome. My name is Chris Hughes from Rebound on Upstreamedia show. It was a great list that last show by High Rollers. We're coming a bit later today to accommodate our guests today. Welcome to Tom Atkinson, who's now coaching Mandua basketball. Welcome, Tom. Thank you for joining us this early hour from Australia. Hope you're well. Hello, Tom. Can you hear us all right? One second, just while I wait for Tom to join us. I'm not sure whether he can hear us. So it was a great show by High Rollers with Eugene Wright. There was a great discussion, great photos and memories shared between two. Great basketball discussion. I really enjoyed listening to that, and great song to end the show. Streamers here. I think Tom's froze. Hopefully he can see us. So it's really great having Tom on the show today. Hopefully we'll be able to catch you in a second. Great commitment from the guy coming on. What is 4 a.m. where he is? So it's great to have him on and discuss the season. So it's just trying to sort out the visuals so we can get Tom on the show. I think we'll be right back with you. Just play that song then.
Yeah. Have you ever loved someone to the point that nothing matters to you? He was all you knew. Don't you ever wish that he returned the love you gave unconditionally? He instead let you be. As time passed by, people change, but you wonder why your feelings remain. And they
Hello, Tom. Do you hear me?
Yeah, hi Chris. Yeah, all good.
That's all right. So thanks for coming on the show. People are not aware Tom's in Australia, but he's the same age as it's 4 a.m. there, so I really appreciate the commitment coming on the show, and I'm looking forward to chatting to you about this season. So I thought to start with how you're getting on and what you've sort of been up to since obviously finishing the season with the Hoods.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously everything came to an abrupt end, I guess. But since then, I got back to Australia probably just before the peak in Australia, at least. So as far as my quarantine restrictions and all of that, I had to do 2 weeks of isolation. I got back in time that I could have done. I just did it at home. I think the weekend after I got back, people had to go into hotels and do all that kind of stuff. But did my 2 weeks, and then since then, just whatever the restrictions allow me to do. So it's not too bad here right now. Well, I mean, the Western Australia where I'm from, we haven't had a case in 8 days now, I think. So I think the government's looking at relaxing a lot of restrictions, and hopefully sport is one of them this week.
Definitely, I say, I'm sure people in Australia, say with people in the UK, are missing their basketball, missing their sport. Obviously, you've joined the Mandurah Magic, and congratulations on that. I hope you get to play for this season. I was wondering if you tell people on the show a bit about the club, a bit about how that opportunity came about.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mandurah's part of the SBL over here, which has been the league that I grew up watching. So it's great to you know how you got your Facebook memories.
Yep.
How they remind you of days from years ago. I think yesterday or the day before, I got a memory from 9 years ago. I was at the SBL watching Mandurah versus Wilton. So it's just funny that 9 years later, I'm playing for Mandurah. Which fingers crossed that happens, but it's looking all right at the moment. I think the season will go ahead.
Just say I was doing a bit of research. Season's a bit different times to what it is in the UK. I think wasn't it meant to start sort of mid-March? Am I right thinking? And then the playoffs were in June time. Is that correct?
For FPL, yeah. So it was supposed to start mid-March. So I think NBL was supposed to finish around mid-March for us, at least, because we're out of the playoffs. Nice transition, a nice crossover for me, season to season. Obviously, it didn't happen, but yeah, playoffs is usually August, so a little bit later than that. And then but we got no idea what's going to happen, right? It might be condensed into 2-3 months. It might be expanded a little bit, because I think there is that extra month or so time frame where it can be pushed back. So we'll see how it goes.
Definitely, I say it's uncertainty for at the moment. Obviously, you mentioned you say you got back in time, and the situation seems to get better in Australia, which is great to hear. Sort of want to hear how you've been getting on. I've seen you in the trick shots on Instagram. Maybe tell people a bit more about that if they haven't seen you and your skills for trick shots.
Well, the trick shots has been a thing for me for a while. Since I was 11, 12 years old. If you go on my YouTube channel, you'll find the archives. There's lots and lots and lots of old videos, 10, 11, 12 years old, of me just throwing stuff in whatever. Obviously, when I went through that transition through high school, it kind of dipped off a bit, just because it's not cool to do that anymore. But I mean, since I got back into things in the last year or so, I've just thought, why not? So the one that I put up for the isolation, smashed that out. Other than that, I normally just put them on my Instagram story, and whoever watches them. But my isolation one was a bit of an attempt to make it more serious again, which I hadn't done for a while, and it was fun. In saying that, I haven't done anything since then, but there's a few ideas I got, and people message me all the time and say, when's the next video coming out, when's your next shot, blah blah blah. So that keeps me motivated, and I guess there's one around the corner. There's heaps on my phone that I haven't even posted, so save it for a rainy day, I guess.
Definitely, I enjoyed watching it. They're really good shots. I could tell that you obviously, if you're passionate for one, just say they're very good, and say very I can't think of a word, elaborate. With you bounce off different things. Obviously, you just how it's something you're passionate. I think you touch on really good point to say, like, I think for me, one of the challenges is sort of keeping that positivity in different ways over this time. I think it's quite easy. The days seem to go quite quickly unless you have a goal. So it's good to have like a passion, like you say, for your trick shots. In the UK, I'm not sure you see the BBL so Storch did the sock challenge. So that was quite interesting to watch. They were sort of like they were throwing socks into like a laundry basket, and it sort of hit us in the UK. So did it?
Yeah, I saw Trey Young.
Yeah.
Saw Trey Young do something like that.
Definitely, I say it's good to like find something to keep us going. Obviously, the NBL season didn't finish the way we wanted it to, but I thought maybe we could talk a bit about the season and maybe a few of your highlights of your time in the UK, and how the season went for you. Obviously, maybe as a team, it wasn't for your season, but obviously it'd be great to sort of delve into it more about some of the high points.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a tough season for us. The end result wasn't too bad, but I think for the list that we had, we should have finished higher than 10th. In saying that, there was a few highlights. We beat TVC away in early December, late November, whenever that was, and I think that was probably the win, the best win for us as a team. Yeah, that was a great win. Everyone stepped up. Matt Parker, Garrison, Demetrius. The games that Basketball England live streamed on their YouTube. So we had one against Leicester at home, and we had one against TVC at home as well. Just having that, the commentators and the crowd and the cameras and stuff like that really motivated us to play. Yeah, and it's just always good to play in that kind of environment when you've got 300, 400, 500 people watching. Yeah, that was a highlight. Our first game against Hemel away. Hemel obviously has probably the best. They won the best match day experience, I think.
They did,
yeah. So Hemel away was kind of it was a really good first night. I think a lot of the guys, especially the Americans, Demetrius and Garrison, we get there and we're like, oh, this is what it's like. All of a sudden walking in and having, stands on both sides at Hemel, and we put up a great fight. Unfortunately, we lost that game, and I think if we won that game, it would have been a completely different season for us. But we missed a shot on the buzzer after coming back from double digits down to win that one. So that was tough, but it is what it is. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, everything for me is a highlight, obviously. The experience and the match play, yeah.
I say definitely. You mentioned Hemel. Let's say, I think as people coming into the game, that's a really good one to start with. Hemel probably one of the more socially backed teams and maybe large fan base. Say they extended the seat in their arena. It's obviously a really good showcase game to watch. In terms of like where the game is, where you are, the SBL and NBL, what similarity do you draw between the two in terms of like how well it's supported and also maybe the competitive nature of the games? Is that coming over? What you thought? Oh, yeah, it's a bit similar, but you thought, oh, actually, this is a bit different to what you're used to.
I mean, a lot of teams would match the match day experience over here. I think over here the court quality is a bit more consistent. The crowd quality is a bit more consistent. The way the game is played in the two different leagues is completely different. The NBL is a lot more raw talent, a lot more athleticism, whereas the SBL is a really established league with. No, I'm not saying the NBL isn't, but the SBL is really structured, really tactical. Whereas I found the NBL was a bit more free flowing, a bit more suited young players. That's why you see guys like Hildreth and even Victor from our team that really enjoy the way that the league is built because they can thrive on it. Yeah, and the NBL is no comparison really. The NBL you could kind of draw similarities to the BBL, but the NBL you've got 15,000, 16,000 people watching games there. You've got LaMelo Ball, Hampton. You've got it's one of the best leagues in the world. So that's kind of, you can't really compare the NBL I think to to anything that Britain can offer right now.
Definitely. I'm glad you mentioned Lamelo, because is he the owner of that club now? He definitely put some money into it, so hopefully that will generate some, be positive for the club. What do you think about that? Say that was quite an interesting move from him to put some money into the club where he spent time with.
Yeah, that's a funny one. I think they reported that he bought it, but then I think the NBL came out and said nothing was official. But either way, obviously he's been looking into buying it. So I think it's a great move, especially for Illawarra basketball, because even though these teams are in the top league in Australia, it's times like this kind of prove who's financially stable and who isn't. And obviously Illawarra need help, and if Lamelo can give that before he even hits the league, then go for it. So
yeah, definitely. So it's interesting. I say, in the UK, obviously, got the Lions being financed by Miami, so it's going to be interesting to see how the money would develop the league. I really like the point about you say about the league's quite. I really like how your point about how in the NBL the game's quite fast, which obviously benefits some of the younger players and big players. I was wondering if you'd go a bit more into depth there. So I'd appreciate if I'm a fan watching, but I think the problem with NBL is it's not. You said it in a really nice way, but it's not so as you're saying that the system in Australia is obviously a bit more being in place. It's more well developed. I think in the game in Britain we're still growing. I think I think on a separate topic I was producing, we were saying that not a lot of people really understand the game, whilst for me that's sort of holding it back. I thought maybe you could go into depth why they play so quick in Britain in terms of transition and the fast breaks.
Well, yeah, I mean, it comes down to the players, and I think the players in Britain, just the way that they've grown up, is more adaptive to a quicker game. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The quality of coaching and grassroots basketball in Australia is one of the best in the world. It's up there with the US. So, when you've got guys that are running plays from the age of 8, 9, 10 years old, it's kind of like Spain. Like you see some of the Spanish, the under 16, under 18 teams, like they're just ridiculously well developed for their age. And I think that's just something that lacks in the British game right now. I'm not saying coaches are underqualified or anything like that, but just when you get to the very top, you need to have experience. And it seems to me that in British basketball, there's not really that much experience going around. And if there is, it's a bit outdated. Which I think, things have got to be fresh, things have got to be rolling through. And if you've got people who have been there, done that, but they're still stuck in the game, keeping it the way that it used to be, it's not going to help the game develop into, what it is now in America, Australia, Spain, all these countries that are winning medals at Olympics, that are winning medals at World Champs. I think that's the next step for British basketball. But when that happens is another question.
Of course, I think that's a fair comment. We've had coaches on the show say exactly similar points, and I think a lot of that's down to the infrastructure, if that's in terms of the sponsorships, the TV licensing, coach qualifications, a lot of things that we need to probably build blocks on to make it a bit better to be more competitive. What was I say? You also mentioned Cameron Hildreth. He's probably one of the shining lights of British basketball. I was wondering your opinion on maybe like the 5 sort of toughest players you faced this season in the NBL who maybe stood out for you as really good competitors to face this season.
Playing against a lot of tough players. From Worthing, obviously you've got Hildreth, and then you've got Taylor and Awobi, I think it is. That trio is tough. They lit us up both times. Oh no, one time. Sorry, we were supposed to play them at the end of the season, but they got cancelled. But when they came to Nottingham, we just weren't. Well, we were prepared. I mean, we put in the effort on the training track that week, and we knew what was coming for us. But they were just too good. So those three really stood out. Obviously, you could name the solid starting five. They're great. Reading's two imports were very good. So AJ Carr and Nick Richards, they're probably they'd be up there as the two best Americans in the league. Who else have we got? Oh, Leicester's guard, is it TJ Henderson? He was ridiculous.
Yeah, very excited player.
Yeah, that guy. That guy was ridiculous. Who else?
I felt sorry for him because to say a few games he played really well, and then it seemed he matched at the same time as Taylor Johnson. So I think there was 2 or 3 weeks where TJ put sort of player of the week performance in, and Taylor sort of did slightly better than him. I think maybe if he was at a stronger seeded club, maybe he might have got a bit more recognition from the season. But very talented player.
Yeah, TJ was ridiculous. And in saying that, Taylor Johnson, Martel obviously as well, those guys from TVC. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, wasn't it lucky? No, you say your knowledge of the team's very good and players and just say very good. I mean, sort of plugging this on the podcast and shows, and actually, I thought there's a book I read really recently. She's read it, Alex Arumi's book. So it has to read. If people watching this and have not read it, Rowan Futtender's Alex Arumi's retired this season into the ownership, but his basketball story is really interesting. It's I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read it, but he played under Colonel Gaddafi, and it's but for Gaddafi's point guard. It's really interesting reading his story, going around the world, playing basketball. It's a really great read. So obviously, say you guys played lots of great players, mixed season. I think obviously you probably have a few Hoods fans watching this, see how you're getting on. I was wondering maybe if there's a funny memory, but maybe the fans weren't privy to, because they might have it off the court in training, but you thought when you look back in your time at Hoods, oh yes, that was a good moment, or that was quite funny, or that was quite interesting.
Probably one moment that comes to me is on the team bus, Victor and Delaney Powell. It was an 2-hour long argument. I think it was Jamaicans versus Nigerians, and they were just going on for ages. And I think about an hour into the conversation, Victor says, "You know what, Delaney? I'll give you 10 reasons why Nigerians are better than Jamaicans." And then Delaney said, "All right, go on then, give me 10 reasons." And we had to sit there for 45 minutes listening to Victor give 10 reasons. And I got some videos on my phone from that, and that's just one of those memories. Just on the team bus, Victor's one of those guys. Delaney's one of those guys that make the trips more enjoyable, and it's just little things like that. And I think it might just be me, but like when these guys get going and they put on their their proper British accents, it just makes it even more funny for me. So I think it was about halfway through the season that this happened, so I understood all the slang and all that was going on. So that was funny. But yeah, I mean, it's a great team on and off the court that we had, and a lot of funny moments with Luke's a joker, Delaney, Vic, Demetrius Garrison, Matt Ward-Hibbert. For an old guy, he's pretty funny. Matt Parker. Matt Parker's hilarious. Trez, all those guys.
Definitely, I say. I imagine there's quite a few journeys. I say, you just take a small glance at the NBA Tennessee. There's quite a lot of teams from the south. I'm sure there's a lot of times where you were long journey. Say, if you're on the bus together, it's good to have that sort of camaraderie and team spirit. There, sort of, make those journeys a little bit shorter. And obviously keep you guys entertained. I wanted to see if you had any trick shots ready. I imagine if it being sort of 5 o'clock in the morning, you're probably still half asleep. But I really appreciate you coming on and saying it's quite late.
I was thinking about that. Then I was thinking if I got the ping pong balls out or something like that, I might wake everyone up. So
that too, yeah, no, definitely so. But I'll be definitely waiting for you to do more when you get the time to. Obviously, if you still obviously want to, so it's great to have that content out there. And if they're really great shots, you can put back on. I'm sure people, really appreciate. Like say, people messaging you. I say, because we talked a bit about the highlights. I thought maybe what were some of the challenges coming over? Say it's sort of, going abroad and new surroundings. Something to make people. Karen?
how long have we got? How long have we got for this one?
Oh, as long as you want. I say. So it's only 10 o'clock here. Maybe just sort of ones that maybe you weren't expecting in terms of like maybe because I think when we do for new experiences, in our head we know it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But often sometimes there's things we don't experience. And I think with basketball, it's a very much a profession where people do move around a lot. So actually, there are players who just grow up with it. Maybe some things you think actually be good advice passing on.
Yeah, well, I mean, my story to how I got to the UK isn't the most glamorous. I mean, I didn't play basketball seriously until maybe I was 17, 18. So I had really had 2 years there to grow and develop, which I did. And then 2015, I made the state team here in WA. 2016, I was signed to the Coburn Cougars in the SBL, and we won the championship in my rookie season, which was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. Like winning a championship in your rookie year, even though I didn't really hit the court, it's kind of like, this is how it works, this is how it happens. And I kind of took it for granted, I guess, back then. I was like, oh, well, that's how easy it is, like whatever. And I kind of lost the passion for it. Didn't play for a couple of years. And then, so basically with my UK passport and my Australian passport, I was lucky enough to get in contact with Nottingham, and they gave me a chance to kind of revive my career, I guess. So I was just playing D League and SPL for Coburn when Coach Wesley said, "All right, let's do it." In your head, everything isn't going to be perfect, but you expect it to be perfect. Which obviously, if you're expecting things to be perfect, you're going to get upset. Things aren't going to go your way. But I wouldn't change anything that's happened over the last 9 months. I mean, in September, like these two front teeth, these are fake. They got smashed out in September at practice. So that was really the first big obstacle for me. And then throughout the year, I was playing with something called MTSS in my legs, which was, at Christmas time, it was unbearable. But towards the end of the season, it was getting a lot better. And this ISO period helped me get 100%. I hope it's 100%. I don't really know till I get back out on the court, but they're feeling great right now. So I'd say they're probably the two biggest obstacles, which is always the same for any player, really, just injuries. Like I said, my lack of match play and my lack of conditioning in the past 2-3 years probably caught up to me on my leg one, because it was an overuse injury. So when I came back and started playing, all of a sudden 5-6 times a week again, my legs were just like, nope, no, you can't do that. So that kind of caught up with me. But yeah, I mean, as far as housing arrangements and being looked after, work and food and all that kind of stuff, like Hoods took care of me and my roommates, Laritz Jaffa and Charles Miller, really well. I can't complain absolutely on that end. I'm very appreciative for Mr. English and everything that his family did for me and the Hoods this season. Um, yeah, I mean, it was a great 9 months here, and it's a shame it had to end how it was. But the obstacles that every player faced, not just me, um, just helped us improve and be a better player for the next season, whether it be with the same team or a different team.
Of course, of course. And I say I've known basketball as a player, but as a fan, and I think for me, I came in a fan of watching my local side play, and I enjoyed it. But there's in British basketball, if anyone watching Australia, there's a lack of information, or was when I started, and I think the more I do rebound, more I sort of have people on the show like yourselves, the more I appreciate that actually there's a lot of work that goes on, either from players, because I think, as a fan, you think, oh, great, this player's come over, they play basketball. And I think we forget, about sort of all the what goes on into it. So I think sometimes the community in British basketball, we can be quite overcritical of facts of basketball England or club or player. And actually, there's always more to it, and there's obviously a lot of challenges go on, because I think the infrastructure's not fully in place. Like you say, the league in Australia and other leagues is much more developed. I say it's a building game, but it's great to hear. But you came over, and okay, it wasn't a great experience, but it was great. But you came here, supported the game, and being part of it. So I appreciate you coming on and telling your story. And for me, it's great to understand a bit more, because I think it's quite easy just as a fan to sort of go in and just think, great, these players are playing, but not actually realising that there's a Monday to Friday process, and also you guys have injuries. There's multiple challenges that we don't see. So it's great to hear a bit more about that. I really appreciate him. I try to think what would be a good way to end it is sort of talk about what you're doing at the moment, sort of keep yourself going. To say, you could have a season in Australia starting soon. Maybe sort of what you've been doing to sort of keep yourself prepared for that eventuality.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this is probably the first proper off season I've had in a few years, so it's been great getting back into it. I'm probably, yeah, I'm proud of how this ISO period has gone for me. It's been 6 weeks now. I'm probably the happiest, the healthiest, the fittest I've been. So I'm ready to go. If the season was to start on May 31st, because it's postponed till May 31st right now, then I'm ready to go. And I think it's a great opportunity that I've got coming up to perform. And if I'm 100% prepared for that, then it gives me the best chance of coming back to England, coming back to Europe, and being able to play again. So that's something I'm working towards. How I'm doing that is obviously a lot easier here than if I was in the UK right now. We can go out and do kind of whatever we want, really. So, and our weather's really nice. So hiking, swimming, running, or outdoor courts, all that kind of stuff. Do you know what that stuff is, or do I have to explain it?
No, I know all that stuff. Yeah. I just laughed when you said the weather. I was waiting for that from an Australian person to say, yeah, much better weather. So
yeah, I had to. Yeah, but yeah, it's been good, and especially coming from the UK to Australia, it makes you appreciate a lot of things that I didn't appreciate, like just simple things like the beach and the hills and all that stuff that you get used to when it's taken away from you in the UK. And it's because, especially, I mean, I'm sure the UK is great in summer. I'm sure the weather does get nice, but over Christmas, nah.
Right. No, I say not. It's not comparable to obviously Australia, but I think we're out in our shorts. It's sort of 12 degrees Celsius. Some people say. I say it's not. It's a different world, isn't it? So it's, and I imagine from the flip side, you probably get ripped. So I did that, Tom.
You guys hit double digits, and then all of a sudden, everyone's out on the street tanning and putting up on their Instagram stories that it's so hot and sunny.
I know. It's funny as you talk about it. It's like I went to Portugal this summer, gone, so I was lucky at teams to watch Nations League football, but it was so obvious to tell which every English person out there was in shorts, and I think I was the only one without shorts on because I checked them before going over. There was like torrential rain, so like, everyone was in their shorts and shirt, being typical Brits on a holiday, and it's 11 Celsius. So that's warm for us, and it totally soaks. It poured down, but no. So, and I imagine when you're here, you get ripped for the Australians, like the flip floppy thongs and all sorts. So it's great to have that sort of. What's the thing you guys sort of? I imagine you pulled up on that very quickly. But what are some of the other things that you sort of to say? Thongs definitely what I hear a lot when I hear Australia. So thongs, what the hell about? But obviously that's flip flops. But
yeah, I mean probably the first month that I was in knots, it took everyone a while to understand what I was saying. I speak fast as well, so sometimes I'll say something and they'll have no idea because so Charles, one of the guys I lived with from Trent, he said to me a few weeks ago, like the very first time I spoke to him, he had no idea what I was saying. He just nodded his head and said, "Okay." And Victor, Luke, Delaney, all those guys would try their best Australian accent every practice, and no one would get close. But even in the last month, even in March, the first thing Victor said to me is "G'day, mate," in his British, Australian, London weird way. So yeah, I mean it's interesting. It's a different experience when you're the foreigner, because normally when we're over here, we've got Americans coming over playing for us, and we kind of introduce them to the Australian life. But for me, going over there, being introduced into the British life, and it was good. Yeah, it was fun, 100%. But it's not like, because obviously my mum's British, so a lot of things I was prepared for, a lot of sayings, she says, and my accent isn't overly strong. And when I was over there, my Australian accent definitely dipped. But since I've got back, it's just back to normal.
Definitely, it reminded me when I was at uni. So we had an eclectic mixed sixers. We had all from the UK, but one from Scotland, one from Yorkshire, one from East London, and real mix. I remember my Scottish friend say first month, I had no idea what he was saying, but it was really funny because I think like third month in, we were in a bar and he was trying all the drinks, and like the bar lady had no idea what he was saying, but where he'd been with us so long, we were like, yeah, I know what you're saying. So he had to like keep us close that night and get us to order his drinks from. So I think that's a great thing about basketball, sort of connects people all walks of life, and it's great to have that interaction. And I think for me, that's one of the things I miss, is sort of having that. I see by courtside, you hear all the people trash talking each other, or you hear with the Americans overreacting to a call that if they had like New York, that broad New York accent. Sort of in terms of like trash talk, what sort of things were you getting from players, and what things made you laugh the most? To say sometimes there are a few characters in the NBL who tried to give out trash talk, and it'd be great to hear a bit more about who was dishing it and what was quite funny for you to hear in.
I mean, trash talk for me, I stay away from. It's something that I think, from my perspective, it's definitely a foreigner thing to me. So to me, when I think trash talking of just British guys, like I don't think the Americans didn't really talk that much. You might get the occasional one or two that like to talk, but for me, it was just British guys going at each other personally, I guess. Guys who each other from hoods in other teams. That was the kind of stuff that I heard, the more personal, I've got you kind of conversation, rather than just the random, just say something to someone just for the sake of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so no one really comes to mind except for obviously Victor from our team. Victor loves trash talking us at practice. He loves trash talking on the court, and probably the real the real one that comes to mind for me was when we played TVC's old team. So that was more of a personal battle between them, getting at each other, going in each other's minds, in their head, rather than anything else. Like, I can't recall anyone really saying much to me. But I guess if you're not asking for it, you don't really get it. So
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if I said something to them, they would have been able to, engage in something. But I keep quiet, keep to myself, just play ball. Don't really speak that much on the court. So
That's why I say you got to be focused on the basketball. I'd say from a fan's perspective, it's quite interesting when you hear conversations. When you're courtside, you hear a bit more than say if you are a few rows back. And I say it's all part of the package. Maybe not the best part of the package, but it's all part of the big game. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate sort of you coming on at 4:00, and I say it's a great talk to you about us. And sorry,
doesn't even feel like 4:00 anymore. It's fine. I'm awake. Good.
Oh yeah, just you're up and about now. That's fine. So final thing I thought to say. Obviously, there's no basketball here. That's till at least start of season. I thought maybe if you guys do get on with Mandua in Aussie season, are the games streamed, and are people in the UK will follow them at all, to your knowledge?
Yeah. So I think if the league does go ahead, and it's one of the few leagues that are playing at the time, especially in June, there will only be a few leagues going. I don't think there's any other option but to live stream them. So I would hope that every game should be live streamed. Every game can be followed. That's a fact. So FIBA, SBL, even Bet365, you can follow all the games, whichever way you please. So and I can't imagine they wouldn't be live streamed, especially after everything that's happened. It's going to be a new age of basketball. I think if a league is semi-professional, professional, it's got to be live streamed, especially from now on with people still stuck at home across the world. It'd be silly not to create that exposure for your league across the world.
Definitely. Say fingers crossed it comes on and let we guys to watch you guys play. Say it's been quite a while now since basketball. I was quite lucky. I saw the BBL final. Since then, I really want to watch basketball. So hopefully you guys get on the court and obviously get to see the basketball. And so thanks for coming on. Before you go, I think I'll just tell people what's on for the rest of the week. And then we'll say our goodbyes. So I appreciate you coming up and everything and all that. So tomorrow I've got a Nicolet from Durham Palatinate on. They were really satisfied in the WBL last season. And on Saturday I've got Tossat Efuman, who's been in Princeton in the US and was with the Newcastle Academy side last season. So got some good shows coming on. So really appreciate you coming on, Tom. Hope you stay well, stay safe. Chat soon. Hope you see you next season if that's in England or play somewhere in Europe. Stay safe and have a good day. And goodbye from me. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Bye now.
Appreciate it, mate.
Nice.